That's a shot from Scuba, ready for it. Slight bit of default as the rest of NRG goes back and forth to see what they can see at the sites, and now they switch the sides of the map, but the push isn't over. Verno still looking for space, looking to get this trade for his teammate as NRG sets up towards the A side, and it looks like he might just get backstabbed as well. Ooh, 2 for Scuba already, and we haven't even really started the round, Vans.
Just really opens up the map. Look at Mata at the same time, while Scuba's just doing back and forth, grabbing the orbs. So right now, all the objectives are being taken by Energy to have a very strong start in this pistol. And you talked about Tex having to play on the island quite often. He's going to use these cyber cages as one-way smokes and try to slow things down for a bit and go for the hero play.
It creates a little bit of a backside for himself, but he peeks right away, and a third for Scuba. Are we ending Breeze from the other day here with his clutch? My God, he continues. And the whole team is basically packing Sheriffs and Ghosts, so as they line up to get these final kills, Vans, it should be enough damage coming through.
Call's already out there for Ethan to have Scuba continue to go for a hunt. I mean, that's 3 shots for a Sheriff. All of them hitting.
Van Silly?
I mean, that's 3 bullets in a row that still connects. Already pissed around looking for the ace for Scuba.
With basically 100% aim on all of them. He's just going to wait it out. Let's see, Brock's going to be the sentry for him to search. Scuba with the shot. The backup Mata! And it's the ace for Scuba to start it off.
Want to come out strong for the side of Energy. MIBR starting off the pistol round, where they do wanted to play that contact play, trying to surprise some players, but look at the positioning coming out from this player right here. Scuba, who has been unstoppable here in the VCL, going into this stage 2 of Americas, and also helping Energy hoist in that champs trophy in 2025. And already, you're already got to call it easy.
Yeah. Definitely no question about the Scuba skill. Oh,
that's okay.
Well, did I curse that? Was that like an insta curse? That's not okay. Still, no question about the Scuba skill. We're gonna test it again here in a possible 1v5 situation.
He's got the shots.
Slight ping, giving the rest of the team time to run free across the map here. They just don't know it yet as the smokes go out onto A. We see MIBR trying to get something going here on the second round.
While Mata falls, this should still be an easy plan for Energy, and despite the ore missing, it doesn't matter. They're still on the anti-eco for Energy, but you're still seeing how they're hitting the sites for the site of Energy. Bringing out this tail for Ethan. They're trying to make sure that nobody can really anchor within the sites as he actually threw those salvos back towards Trolla under that bridge in case you still had Tex playing in that spot. So now everything's just in pristine position to play the second round for the side of Energy. The interesting part about this too for MIBR, especially on Abyss, they could jump out of the map, go back into the next round, but very similarly to the last time when they had to play an eco against Energy, they're going for the re-hit, trying to make it expensive for Energy and his post plan.
And on more than one front, they come in from the back side as the team tries to hit the site head on from that heaven drop, and it looks like it's going to be too much util across the spike for them to get it as they look for a bit more damage, a bit more armor, half on the spike, and the kill's going to come through for Ethan. Getting that Teo ultimate online just a little bit more. Still quite a ways away, but that's 2 for NRG as they push into the bonus round.
Damage is there, though. The only thing you could get out of a positive in that post plan is at least Ethan staying very confident and stoic in that 2 versus 1. Knows that he has the time in his favor, and at the same time, just even waits for the smoke to disappear so he can just tap the last opponent down, which was Zekin trying to get that defuse. You see it right there? ADS, easy kill. So he saves the round now for Energy, and yeah, Bonkar's not throwing those big fist bumps. Yeah, there you go, the sigh of relief towards the end.
Took quite a bit to get it out of the boys on that one. But I think that's one of the things we also see from MIBR is their ability to know the state of the game, when to play their life, and how to get back into the site together. Having all that util. I mean, they didn't have much util there at all, but using each other accordingly to make that damage come through. That's what made them so effective with the gun rounds as well in their previous match.
Yeah. And Kiko, as you see this compositional switch for Energy going back here to the Omen, when he was technically supposed to be just slotted in to replace Som, and you know, Som has been playing nothing but controller going into 2025, and for them to win chance for Energy in that last year. When you look at the addition of Kiko, it's actually a great addition to the whole Energy squad, because now you have 3 players that can flex around to a lot of different roles. Being Ethan between Teo and Astra, for example, on Breeze. You have Kiko now that can play duelist, Sentinel, and now back to the Omen. And of course, you have the Swiss Army knife around Scuba as well. If, you know, Ethan's going to play the Initiator role, he can go into the Omen role. So it allows right now for Energy to have so many different approaches on different maps, whether it be double controller, double initiator, double duelist, they could have it. So that's going to give a lot of question marks for teams to try to prep against a champion team like Energy.
And it's wild to see they're not really showing everything just yet. We pull out that, as you say, smoke now for MIBR, but they can still go through that entire cycle just to make the season a bit easier in situations where they know they need an upper hand. And the same thing goes for MIBR, right? A lot of this idea surrounding the super team that's built is, oh my God, Second's there, but will he play Duelist? Can he play Duelist? Or is Aspas going to frag? And they'll continue to utilize throwing utility in front of him so he has the space to be Aspas over and over again.
It'll definitely be a fun series to watch over right now between these two teams. When you're looking at it too, we'll see how it's going to go. But at least earlier today, we got to speak with Mara and what it's like to face against Aspas in the server.
I think the hard games are the ones that you learn the most from. Aspas is, I mean, the most world-class player you can be, so you always learn a thing or two. He kills you on an angle, he kills you here, he kills you there. You learn these things, and you also see what you're doing that is like working because it works against him or their teammates or anyone else on the team. So it's always fun playing against better teammates.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's playing against the guy. I mean, even earlier in their previous match when MIBR was losing 6 rounds in a row, there was a timeout. What'd they do? Come out of the timeout with an operator on Aspas. Everything was okay again.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes.
And that's the thing. Aspas has found tremendous form. Again, going from last year into champs and then continues it on into 2026. So he's definitely a menace to deal with. You saw it when he played against Envy last week. They just gave him freedom of being able to work down towards wherever he wanted to go on solo because he was playing Waylay with an op on the attack side, defensive side, whatever you want to do, and he's just going to land that shot. So to have the opportunity to see such a superstar in Aspas to play against Mata, who's pretty much like we were calling it the up and cover last year, but now pretty much proven that he can hang with the best. He's definitely in that conversation here for Mata to be one of the best that the game has to offer in terms of duelists.
And I can't wait to see, right? We're seeing these tier 2 them in the beginning, and you see them approaching these veteran players very fast, and you're like, how far does that keep going? What is the next level for them? So really awesome to see players like Mata, Timotino, and all the rest across the regions really start to break out and show that it is new tricks that are available still in Valorant.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you say you can't teach old dog new tricks. Now it brings me to a segue to talk about dogs. So if you ever wonder why Aspas brings out a stuffed dog on his stage during his matches,
why is that?
You're about to get the answer. Not for me.
Hello guys, I'm Aspas and I'm playing for MIBR. This one here is Doguinho. He is the first gift that my wife gave to me. She gave when I was going to fly to Istanbul to play Champions in 22. And since then, he's been going to all matches with me. He won a Champs trophy in Turkey with me. When I won the trophy, I put inside the trophy. During the moment that the team was going to raise the trophy, he was there inside the trophy. It was he and Dogão. He's Doguinho, but Dogão, that was the big one, he was inside the trophy as well. But Doguinho was on top. He won some Americas as well in 23.
Let's give it up one more time for Wow!
And 24. Doguinho says thanks for watching.
And we thank Doguinho for all the moments that he carried Aspas to champions.
Yeah, exactly. And being able to hoist trophies with Loud and then being able to win regional events in Americas with, you know, 2 of his former teammates being Tex and Mazzino. So that brings us to the conversation now, too, of what was talked about by Emily speaking with Aspas earlier on. Now you have this super team during the offseason that was attempted to get built by the organization of MIBR with Fraud as the main coach, but also bringing in Happy as the assistant coach, 2 now CS legends from 1.6 to CSGO to now this. It's crazy to see how much effort has been put into this roster for MIBR for this year, and now to see that you have a level of comfort for Aspas to play with older teammates and Mazzino and Tex to see him reunited again, and why maybe some people that were doubting Tex in the past, well, they got third place at Champs in 2024 with that roster, with Tex in there. So if Tex is able to find that form, which he did in that matchup last week, then MIBR is definitely like a strong powerhouse that we have here in Americas.
There's so many good voices on that team. Speaking of that, the other side, Energy. Ken, we keep hyping up the super team, and I feel like for the moment, that's the team that everybody's thinking about right now. How far can they go? But we do still have the champions in NRG, who've made one change and are still showing us exactly what they did at Champions. Their first game, we're able to get through that pretty much as a breeze, and now we see them still innovating and bringing out new things, starting to here. Have to see how it goes.
I love that. And it brings a fun point as well for Energy, as you mentioned. Yeah. It's not a roster that blew up following a Champs win. Right? It's not Loud of 2022. It's not EG of 2023. And now you're looking at Energy. Well, the reason why they went for a roster change was because Sam wanted to retire. He wanted to chill, doing a marathon right now with Shanks, watching all the games in all the regions right now. So they needed to find somebody. And now it seems that from Red Bull Homegrounds into now, Kiko fits in quite well, and even, like I said, elevates Energy in terms of being able to add new to the playbook, because of how versatile Kiko is.
Yeah, seeing him as the Judge Merchant slide around on Neon. Little home defense strategy from him in every site we saw on Breeze as the team was getting themselves into position to retake it from Cloud9. And overall, like you said, the flex on that team is going to make them such a dangerous prospect throughout the year, even more than they already are as the champions. So you can't forget it. And now it's the brains of Verno and Ethan are also awesome to look at because of how young you have in one IGL with all of these veterans around him. And then Ethan, a two-time champion, pretty much has the answer for everything and doesn't get the fog of war around him in any situation.
It was still fairly new going into IGL even last year, right? So it's still kind of new for these two, but it's really fun to see how, you know, these two guys are going to get overworked this series, because you're now looking at Abyss, where this is the first time we're going to play against Energy on this comp. Split has never been seen before by either of their teams, and then go to Breeze, where we haven't seen MIBR yet since last year, so it'll be a fun one to win this when we have a chance.
When we have the chance. We appreciate your patience right now. We are going to take a quick tech timeout. We will be right back after this.
Hello. God damn, brother. Fuck. Bạn học thì bài em ăn này. comunque si production team mo production team nivedo si set up too well.
Trying to look for something. Scuba untouched and unbeatable. Agora contra 4 jogadores vai ser pressionado. Pode vir, pode vir. Para Verdo!
Welcome back to VCT Americas. Hope is on the horizon. I know you still see pause on the screen, but we should almost be there to recap what's happened in the game already. If believe it or not, an ace first round by Scuba, coming out with beautiful Sheriff shots. The last one, the team throwing themselves into the fire just so we could get it. And they came out strong. And then a second round where they actually took quite a bit of damage on their gun rounds. So they suffered a bit.
A great response from MIBR. Came down to a 1v1 towards the end when we only had pistols on the side of MIBR. Technically right now, going into that third round where it should be a bonus round for energy,
here we go.
It's supposed to be not an expensive buy, but they are investing a lot into this round. So thank you for your patience as we get back here into the game. A setup now for MIBR to just try to find some active information. A knife early, sees nobody there from the side of KO. So that's the call right now for Aspas. You see the jiggles coming through. The camera stays up right now for Tex. So they could maybe try to answer back on the B-side hit from Energy.
A high trip just to make sure nothing crazy going into the site. And Tex is going to say, yes, on backside. Give Aspas a little bit of freedom to do what he can on the right there. As Tex draws attention, Scuba's going to bite, and he takes so much damage. That's where Scuba's Viper Bite goes. So they know exactly the room they had to work with. MIBR set up on the outside. It looks like they want to make a double take for this, but Kiko says, no way. Furno and Aspas down very quick here as, again, NRG exits the site a little bit just to get that defensive setup.
3v5, 3v2 easy.
Almost feels like this should be a call, but Mazzino's still sticking out in the open, and finally there's that call to fall back. I gotta say though, a nice little idea to have that trip for the anti-dash, but at the same time, you're playing against a Whaley, an easier recall. That would have been perfect against a Jet.
Yeah.
That said, you're able to see NRG on that hit on the B side stay very patient. So many players trying to anchor towards this B side, try to bubble through smokes and try to prevent players from jumping through the abyss, but they just waited for the cages to disappear around Scuba. Still using util around that troll where that blue X is at right now, and Scuba cannot anchor up on that site. Give it a good chance here for Energy to convert a bonus round and start snowballing the economy on their side, especially when, again, that second round was quite expensive for them to take.
A great focus from Energy, just being able to pinpoint an instant opening in the site there. You see towards the back. So he does go in, pulls back out, and the tail util goes back there. He gets pushed into the molly once again after getting shot with Guardians. So yeah, not a place you're gonna hide.
Can't play the game.
Happy with that protocol set down by the squad to get through the bonus round.
Might have to keep an eye on that conditioning too, because if now you're gonna have to force Tex to relocate towards New Box or something.
Yeah.
That's going to be watched when you're going to start scaling on the side of Energy. That said, you see the composition from MIBR. Last round, it was a knife out towards that A-main side from Mazzino to spot info. This time, it's the active camera from Tex, which is why you're looking at this new meta. You're seeing a lot of teams still very comfortable playing this double initiator, but also adding that third character to get that information and be able to get out. So that's Tex with the camera. Or on Energy side, it should just be the Whaley dashing in, finding info, recalling. And that gives a chance right now for both teams to react a little bit more around that map. It also causes for a lot of defaulting, though, around the map, which is you're seeing Energy cutting noise and forcing MIBR's next round to get info. It looks to be a drone by Verno on the front side of A, but decides otherwise and finally pulls it out, and he's going to get right onto the money.
Scary spot to be is a solo Sova. He just had that smoke to get away from that they've given him, but oh no, Whaley to top box, not to heaven. Safe for the time being as MIBR sets up the retake, and Energy again, pretty much a flawless entry into the site to get themselves set up.
Saved 2 weapons into it the last round was Aspas and Mazzino. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it again. They did it with pistols in that second round. Now they want to continue to try to make it expensive. That Knife now realizes that energy playing off the site. Lineups, no salvos though really available, so they're just going to try to play the spray, actually, if you look at the remaining utility available for the side of energy on the attack.
Just trying to get somebody up close. Oh, Mata over the smoke already whittles down the numbers of MIBR here. He's just finding a few more, looking for those alt points, but Mazzino answers back. Now to the 3v3. Spike's going down, so they're going to have to get it to half soon here as energy lights up the kill feed. That's going to be all they need to take down MIBR, get themselves out alive. 4-0 now.
That's twice now that energy. I mean, it's cutting it close, but at the same time, they're doing a great job playing off the sites and off each other to make sure that the smokes that are being thrown by MIBR to attempt to defuse really have a chance. Bubble dissipates, easy kill towards the end, but I like the positioning. It almost feels calculated on the walls that they're setting up right now on their attack side, where Kiko could play it as a one-way smoke on the top of the box.
No trust, bro. No trust. Good job. Good comms. Good job.
Jump in that one.
All right, into round 5. Is this going straight over the top?
It's quick.
Very quick. Push towards mid. They're going to see if they can get a ping off of this right away, maybe, and work it. Oh my gosh. And they ult immediately, taking all of vent and that upper heaven area for themselves. Energy just putting their foot down once again in the site, making MIBR question how to get back in.
What a nice little look. It's going to make it so hard for MIBR to remove it back into the site, especially with that pit on the top of heaven. We'll talk about it in a second right now, though, because MIBR are trying to find some value around Aspas' op.
So many little setups that they have, different looks each round. It's like when MIBR does get guns, they're not seeing the same thing. They can't even find something that they saw the previous round. Looks like a save here for Aspas and the operator, since it is a key factor for them to get back in the game.
Was the biggest win con for MIBR against Envy.
Yep.
Potential will continue to do so throughout the season for this Brazilian organization. But again, when we were just talking about this double initiator on the side of any teams right now that could slow the tempo and play a lot of default, you see how Energy could also up that tempo by using the Teo salvos to immediately break the doors and fast as they move forward to take some immediate control towards A Heaven side, and you're not allowing any team to play a retake if a pit comes out that deep.
No way. It's such an awkward position, too. How many times you played around that anyways? To retake down a long hallway, you'll probably be 30 health at by the damage from the pit anyways. We got a timeout being called here by the team, so MIBR, Fraud can get in the ear of the players and figure out where they can put a stop to these energy hits.
Well, it definitely looks like a couple of rounds ago, or at least a few rounds that we've seen so far. It's been outside of that piston round where that double walk down on middle from MIBR. The rest of it has been kind of trying to be more reactive on things and giving too much space for energy to work with. And that was probably also a nice plan that they drafted up against Envy in their last game. When you're playing the knife, it's not finding anybody. Verno usually goes for the owl drone right after, so they are trying to find immediate information by cycling util around that 1 minute 20-second mark so that they could actually go for the stack in into the fight. Right now, maybe you're asking here for, I mean, you're seeing on the side of Fraud here by MIBR. He's not saying too much, and during these timeouts, it's also been Verno being fairly vocal in these timeouts against Envy, and they were able to convert a few of those as well. So again, you talked about the inexperience of Verno on the IGL, but he's very confident as he reads the game perfectly.
And one of the things they praise him for that I feel like always stays, it's not something that can waver, is that he knows the game around the ultimates, around what they can play, what the other team has. That's not a statistic that changes, right? The ults will come up and go down. So he's not afraid of who's fragging, afraid of who's on the other team. He plays around the state of the game, and that's one of, I think, the biggest things for him as a young IGL to keep him focused on what the win con can be. Let's see if they have it here for the defensive side after their timeout. Verno already says if they try this again, Vence is locked down. Takes a bit of damage there as they toast him up with a little bit of the Lego last jump from Brock. But it's not going to be too much of a follow-up. They just want this heaven space so they can begin to pressure MIBR.
Still a very nice call. He plays forward here to just punish that fast push again from Energy, trying to leverage our ults to take over heaven again. And as they play soft side right after, almost feels like 2 of those ults are now wasted for the side of energy, allowing now MIBR to have more util for the retake.
And it's rare that NRG has pushed to the backside of this site. Usually you get kind of a drop over the A default, but they are planting and getting back to hold it from a defensive position on their own side here. It's been working. The trips aren't even in use now, but Mazzino isn't going to matter. He just swings out on Brock and takes him as the team is now figuring out how to find where NRG is. Mata being a nuisance from heaven, another kill there, but Zekin's able to answer it back easy. Defuse coming in through the smoke, however, for MIBR as they leave NRG guessing to the situation.
It was just quick. Very nice where we talked about the lack of util. Well, that makes it even harder when Mazzino's going to start popping off that KO ult. The null command really not allowing NRG to really slow down that fast push from the flood of MIBR back into the A site. And that now finally have a full smoke covered up. Talking about conversions on timeouts for the side of MIBR, they've been quite good going into those calls, but also very difficult for them to string rounds together, though, after these timeouts. So
yeah,
we'll have to see if NRG has an answer back right away. An op shot, but it misses.
You can see Aspas getting hungry now. Wants to make a mark at the beginning of these rounds instead of wait for something to happen. The 0 point gets destroyed here, and they're not going to have more info than a few. They know the hit's going to come through, though. You see how much he wants to peek, but everybody, again, playing their life here. Just Mazzino in sight to try and grab some info. And he's doing a great job at somewhat delaying the situation here. Aspas goes down as soon as the smoke does, and NRG is locked on these angles with no fear when the smokes go down. Bull Zekin, though, coming back into the site, gets taken down by Kiko as the dust settles now at 2v3 for MIBR to get back in.
Yeah, good on Zekin to even slow the tempo once again from NRG, giving a chance here for heroic plays to come out. To get an ult out for Tex, but it's a little bit too far away.
What?
That just
from the shadows. Yes, it did.
Timing.
Oh, hats off to Kiko. Gets another one in the site, and they know exactly where Sova's coming from. Verno here holding the ult, obviously. We just have the time to play with if he doesn't save, and it looks like he is going to backpedal.
Just too much. You have the orb cycle coming through from Scuba and from Kiko. There's nowhere you're walking up that ramp, especially now where they spotted from the shadows where Verna was rotating from. There's no way they could go for the surprise play. You have to respect Mazzino's, though. Mazzino's attempt to stay alive towards that new box has been very good in his starter game last week, and at the same time just putting up high numbers as his KO. And now he's just trying to stay alive to give a chance for his teammates to rotate on time, for Aspas to find a timing and swing out, but they both got punished in the end. Too many numbers on the side of energy as they overtake that B site.
It's where they get into sight, they stand there, wait for the smokes, kind of like they do over at A. They don't enter the back just yet until they absolutely clear it. I mean, that's good protocol, but man, they are sticking to it right now. We'll see what happens as we get into the next round 8 here as they focus towards the A side. MIBR stops the bleeding for one round, but gets reset.
Going to be the slow 5-man hit. Tried to go for a push play down towards middle. You heard that dash, the pop flash as well, and that's the call already for Energy to say, okay, well, it's A or B. Let's just 5-man hit a weak site.
Waylay site in. Better than a drone at this point, and Kiko's up top to still finish it, thinking they have backed off all the way. No, it is not true. They're still getting these inserts instantly into the site, and they're able to just rinse and repeat this. There's really nothing that can stop the side of NRG. Maybe a trip or two, but it's just going to get shocked out.
Breaking ankles.
Okay. Whatever, Kiko.
Now just play offside. I mean, you got salvos. This is pretty much a done deal once again. Shock dart, snake bite.
That
could be good with the shots. It could be nerdy with the shocks as well.
Look at that pose plant. Shock pose plant. Tejo salvo pose plant. A little bit more from everyone when they want it. And there's 3 outside the smoke, just firing phantoms through mostly, so you can't even get a good return trade on the situation.
It almost feels right now that for MIBR, I think after that timeout, the idea is right. They still have to try to push forward and try to just lock down a lane. Since that timeout we've seen, or just previously we saw Aspas trying to opt down towards B. The pop flash trying to push down towards middle, but it's just unfortunately gamble pushes that doesn't work out for their side. But if you're looking at the way that NRG is currently hitting this A site, sometimes they go towards heaven, or if not, it's the Waylay dash or the Kiko TP on the top of the A site. So you kind of always keep MIBR guessing. You have to do a very good job right now for MIBR to just button things up on these aggressive pushes, and they're trying again.
There's that pop flash mid we saw or heard last time. Already ready from two sides of this. They've pushed up to cover mid to react to that what they just heard from last round over towards that A side. Just round to round educating themselves on how to beat MIBR in the following round.
And all they had to do was to stay back and break that recon dart on middle. And as soon as that's broken, there's no value get off the pop flash recon dart. So Energy one step ahead of understanding how MIBR could maximize his composition to surprise their opponents if they don't have enough money for that op, and they're doing a great job just really nullifying any type of aggressive attempts from MIBR to get early info.
And seeing this switch for Kiko too over to the Omen for this from the Neon gameplay, we knew he could, but man, 10 and 2 over there, being the second follow-up in these plays as the secondary controller or mid controller. They're both kind of doing the same amount of controlling, but it's just so on point right now when they go to make that play inside the site again. It's absolutely disgusting. Inside the cage of Tax kills him. It was the cover that Mata needed.
Spike planted.
It's just so tough right now, especially when you're leaving Tex. You could give him so much confidence to anchor up a site, but when there's so much util on top of that, a recon dart to ping you out, and there's no support to break that dart, they can't play that type of passive shock dart, deny plant with Verno on top of Heaven. They got to think of something new, play a little bit more of that buddy system aggressively inside these sites.
Very true. Cosmic Divide here, coming in for the retake, and Scuba just sinks him.
Scuba playing around his Viper walls, man. Just highlight reels after highlight reels for this kid.
That's crazy. Something we saw Energy doing versus C9 was that Viper wall on Breeze, they'd push up to it every time. They'd aggress on it, even let the other team know they were there. So in the silent moments, they're even better.
I thought they were saving where it takes forever, bro. Jesus.
Brock just wants to play.
And that's why the advantage is always going to be on their side when you're looking at it here, Riv, because the more time you're taking for MIBR to set up, waiting for your teammates to rotate across, when you've already lost site control, you're just trying to find the perfect timing. Well, Energy can just stay off site. We've seen all those lineups they can play. So I don't even know why Vernal continues to be fully active and vocal, because these guys are playing abyss to perfection.
Yeah.
This is definitely not the same type of scoreline of that upper bracket semifinal champs 2025 here between these two teams. It seems that it's been leveled up. Remember the last time when they played, it was Ethan actually playing the Harbor. And what made the Harbor so strong on this map was just that double cascade slicing and, you know, the refresh of the high tides, which we don't have that anymore. We've seen some teams still try to attempt it by almost mimicking that comp. In Loud, for example, and unfortunately it wasn't, you know, the best of successes that we saw from Penkata on that agent because of the kit that's been so, I guess, neutered at this point.
And we look at this game coming into this week as a litmus test for MIBR. What's their positioning? How ready is this super team? And we know there is a ceiling for them somewhere. It's when are they going to punch through it? When are they going to show us how fast they can reach it? Because right now, NRG is keeping them off any kind of climb in this game. 8-1 now. And they're going to just go ahead and set up a default to see if MIBR really likes to take these rounds long.
And you just saw a fourth piece of the of how they could get active information. Kiko going for a jump peek TP back in KCC's like a push coming out on the eco for MIBR after this timeout. They're looking to just play more safely and stack up for MIBR on this B side. So forcing Energy to use that util on their attack side to have hopefully a little bit less on the actual hit. And that drone will now confirm that this should be a B finish. So MIBR so far reading this correctly.
Still taking a little bit of that space to confirm with vision. Is Verno on the right side, so he's calmed everyone in sight. It's just an eco, so they're looking to get some right side, so he's calmed everyone in sight. It's just an eco, so they're looking to get some.
What the fuck?
Welcome to the Braindump Challenge. Today's contestants will race to capture as many thoughts as possible before they disappear forever. Contestant 1, you're up.
Right side, so he's calmed everyone in sight. It's just an eco, so they're looking to get some.
Not me.
You're right, the ult has allowed MIBR to kind of squeeze NRG into a position of anxiety here, and they're wondering which way is the right one to look. That's cleaned up a little bit by Ethan to start him off, triggering Ospas to go, but Mata already had the situation locked down. It took him a moment, but NRG still power through.
Almost in lineup. It was a clean shot on Takiko when they went for that double swing on that side. The amount of shots that are popping through, trying to bait the mount so that Ospas can get value off those blade storms. Oof. Nice little transfer in the end for Mata. They continue their run. I mean, that timeout, even if it looks disappointing for Fraud, there's still, again, in these eco rounds, good damage being done for the side of MIBR, but this is where it gets important. The money's back, which allows Ospas to invest into another op. He's done these plays before, and it's red already.
Last time Ospas tried that, he was able to walk out of it. So he probably felt real comfortable trying again.
And usually they use a KO knife to make sure that they could nullify some utility to not allow Ospas to be cleared out from a drone or anything like that, but it's just Mata walking up to get the pick. So that just comes down to the preparation for something like Bonkar when it comes down to these games, and why Energy had such a surge of results that put them into the finals of the Americas of Stage 2, that made them win champs. This guy works around the clock and figures out here how their opponents play and just punishes them every time.
It really is a core point. You have a team that wants to buy an op so much. You have a team this smart, you can read that economy like a book. Coming out of that low buy round, of course they wanted one. You're right. The homework was done for that, for sure. Back into the B site once again. That back left connection, always a big one for the team to take, so they know they have site coverage. And this is where MIBR could somewhat excel. It's what we saw them coming back in their previous match on, is when they could get to the site and flood in. But already they could get picked off in mid here.
I see a little bit of desperate moments too, like just a pop flash. The lurk again from Scuba. At least only gets one, but you're seeing on the other extremity of the map here, on the defensive side, everybody's just trying to go for hero plays. Just trying to hopefully make something stick.
Again, Mazzino trying to peek off a little bit of the util, but Energy has made all of these 1v1 situations across the map, and they continue to do that as MIBR needs to search and see where they're inserted, where they're hiding. Because with the speed Energy's taking sites, you know they don't need everybody in there, and they probably didn't use everyone. Who's lurking is the question.
It's funny because we had the conversation before going to this game. Is there really a team that could start off here as a build-up and become a super team?
Yeah.
And almost when you're looking at the side of Energy for last year, you have two rookies coming in Mata and Scuba, and Brock as well, actually. And you're not expecting the biggest of results, especially with the attempts of Energy in the past in the super teams that they tried to build.
I hope they played that little soundbite. I say he's going to updraft on the box, and I just kill him.
He knew it.
Just knew.
He knew it.
Watching that tape. But again, they look excellent now since the addition of all of these players around the Energy roster. Rebuild around Ethan. Now they're definitely looking just like a strong super team, at least in the Americas for now.
Nothing they're doing requires too much, right? It is an ABC. Your drone goes in, dart goes in, and the coverage is there. There's nothing you need to guess about. You don't have to. We heard Ethan say trust earlier, but I'd say it gives you all the trust you need to look where you need to on these site takes.
So they are trying to close down these gaps here for MIBR that Energy is trying to default at the beginning. So the salvos that breaks the door, very similar to what Verno did before. Ospas is going to try to take that spot. Energy is still keeping things very slow. Up and down walls, creating question marks. But now, with the orb being picked up, you know it's towards the A side. Ospas is already going to rotate there, but we're going to try to use util to try to clear him out so we can pit into A. There's still 50 seconds left on the clock, but now with nobody inserted across the map, it definitely looks like it's going to be the explosion into this A site.
And this has to be one of the holds. Zekin and Ospas have been playing together a lot. They've been synergizing around these two roles. If they can make it work, this is the time. Zekin gets 2 on this as Ospas goes down, and MIBR is still looking to hold the site, but there is the salvo from Ethan that locks it down a little bit more for the side of NRG. It's still 3v3 here, but Brock is going to quickly change that as Verno goes for the peak. Zeno has to creep in, has a ways to go before he finds anything here, so he might even have to duck out. No, gets Brock on one, is going to go ahead for a little bit of a refresh as he flashes back in. Now he knows he has Tex at the hip. A tap on the spike. No, they're going to continue to push forward to try to do this silently. Ethan finds Mazzino. Tex with just a running gun, but Scuba's able to lock it down once again in that final situation.
And it almost looked like it was going to finally work for MIBR, adding another body in there, making sure that you're breaking out that util, and they almost had a pretty strong hold for the side of MIBR, coming close to the wire again in the final moments of the round.
Gosh, the Hunter's Fury to push somebody into the salvos, the reaction time that Energy has off of their abilities is wild. 11-1 here for NRG. MIBR has a big hill to climb when we come back.
Can I help you, sir?
Here's the bill from the dealership where I got my car, and I'd like you to beat it with a better deal on one of these fine cars.
Not how it works.
Guess you're not as cool as Verizon.
Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal today.
Welcome back to VCT Americas as we get ready for the second half, which NRG might make quite quick for us if they continue this domination of the game.
Yeah, looking very strong on just working that attack side at whatever tempo that they wanted to for the side of Energy. Now it's finally, hopefully, it might be with a more basic composition that we've seen in the past before, trying to get value out of this one as well. Once we get into the server, though, an interesting look at what we have for MIBR is in the past, though, we're trying to rate boss Aspas by having Mazzino trying to drop, you know, like a ghost or something for Aspas so he could get an extra clout burst. But this time around, they're going for the flash ghost and also him just going with the sheriff. So you need Mazzino and, well, I was going to say, and Aspas to work together here, but he's just throwing a flash, trying to create a fake towards this A side first so MIBR can start activating on mid control and trying to cut these rotates across from Energy.
They want quite a bit of map control here. See who's hiding where, who wants to play on what for the pistol round, and Tex gets the better of Mata to start off. I don't think he actually identified how many were in mid either, so it's still a question mark for NRG, but they're keeping focus on it.
The other thing that's difficult now is how you're going to cross this line of scrimmage with this extra wall being put up by Scuba. He used to play the Vice a lot in the past, using the wall to prevent players from rushing through, doing very similar looks now with the Viper Wall defense on B. Also, there to help is Ethan just around the corner with 2 salvos.
Salvos out, no dart info. And yeah,
dart too.
Quite stalled here, Brock down to 4.
Exactly, it'll be a stop and go right now for MIBR. With 36 seconds left and all 5 of them on this side, they have to try to re-hit. Comes down to the fundamentals. Who has the best crossfire and who is able to swing off each other the best.
Second has 2 stars left. He's at the back of the heaven area. See if we get any here. He's going to actually split the site in 2 so they can work the front and get to the backside to plant on the left. And NRG is huddling just as much here. It's about to be a party at the backside. Inferno comes up huge with the sheriff. Aspas answers as well, and it leaves Kiko to try and do what he may from the side. And he's found out. MIBR grab a very much needed pistol round.
And the beauty again of the fundamentals and having veterans like Fraud, like Happy going into the buddy system. And as he creep up for both Verno and Aspas, they went high-low with the Sherrys too to make sure that they could try to go for trades. And it's Verno just capitalizing on 2 that had pretty good spacing for the side of Scuba and Ethan.
Oh, flawless. You heard this guy's flawless.
I heard it now. I heard it now. Holding with the Marshall on this one. So we're being real quick with those shots if Aspas needs to. Backed up by Mazzino. And they're actually just calling this push right now. The forward smoke from NRG, and they're going to try to come out into the blender of MIBR.
Yeah, a lot harder to try to pop out of a smoke when you have flashes to work with, so you're trying to leverage salvos to break crosshair placements. But MIBR were doing a great job just playing out towards that spawn. They were just ready for that push.
Too good. Nice control.
I'm glad you guys are having fun.
Oh, that was another flawless.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the second hot.
I thought Tex was going for it too, so we had to. All right, 11-3. This is a huge round for MIBR. The eggs are in this basket right now, as they only see Brock on one side. We still keep the consistency of this mid push around, and they see Mata again.
And they're just using the firepower to work together. Verno, who's been very good here on clutch scenarios. I'm just trying to have him and Osbos scale up towards this mid. They're keeping energy quite cautious of trying to fight back at this spot, so they're turtling up. So this is a lot of space right now that MIBR can start taking towards the mid round. Drone now should get broken up here by Tex.
Seen, but not too much off that. Doesn't matter if he's suppressed or not. A little rotation out here from Ethan. And this could be some good timing for MIBR. They're still waiting very heavily here on the main area. Oh my God, just playing aim practice over here. Brock holding down the vent. A quick hat trick for him. And this changes the mind of Tex and Zekin.
And just sit and spawn and save your weapons for the next 30 seconds. Felt like there was a bit of a miss on how they wanted to open up on that door, though. Because when you have to drop that star down for that side of Zekin, you're already making a call. Okay, there is definitely going to be a push coming out from the connector here from middle onto the A site. But now you're forcing Osbos to break the door and also trying to clear. Well, maybe somebody should have stayed back as a second player just on crosshair placement. So they could try to look at, hopefully, somebody on the other side of the door to trade out.
Yeah.
But two of them got caught off guard. The third one was stuck with util in hand and tried to go for the hero play, and it becomes an easy kill for Brock. Yeah, this is going to put energy on map point.
A few guns should be a little bit of money to buy there still for MIBR. And the question is now with the last round or match point looming overhead, do you get tempered and play where you don't want to lose, or do we see our first fast round from MIBR? Because it seems like the slow rounds are punished here by NRG. Just sit back and relax, coach. Team's got it for now.
Maybe be a challenge for Bonkar. Well, you saved 2 weapons. Now you're forcing out for the rest of this game. At least the buy is still good for MIBR. Trying to activate a little bit more quickly.
Yeah.
Having that smoke on the top, trying to go for that early pressure on mid, and Mata avoids the knife, but couldn't get the ADS on to Osbos. That's going to now slow down the tempo a bit.
It seems like bodies are a thing now. They just have to use Vans. Like, hey, we're here, power in numbers, peek us, we'll trade you. It seems
it's
like
never given by energy.
No, they are very good at keeping themselves back and in that position to play with each other. And again, backing off, just looking to slow them, and they gather in sight to take a different position because they're not sure what's behind them. Zeno nicely getting that kill on Namada. A lot of action on Vent throughout this game. It's been a priority for these teams throughout the rounds. Second, another one.
That should pull everybody back towards B.
Hopefully, they got to be moving.
Already got that kill onto Z. You saw, you know, the first contact that went out towards Ivy, and at the same time you're punishing a double push on B main. That's an open site. Rocky and Kiko probably will have to save here at this point.
I love they're still going to play it like they have to take it because it's unknown, and that's actually respectable. Because why make a mistake at this point and just get shot in the back from their spawn? Default smokes out. Gonna go ahead and retake, or take this side, I should say, as Zekin cleared off the players who were on it.
Yeah, and that's also why I like the call from Berna going to this round to play that round, even though you're at map point for energy, to still play quite slow. You're trying to close it out very aggressively for energy. They've done these before. In that last week, when that map point, they just explode and try to find that round. Of course, on the defensive side, you can't be as quick, but you saw how we were just slightly overconfident on winning these duels, and every single person got punished as they were trying to push forward and close that gap. So MIBR potentially getting their first flawless.
I hope they do. Need that money. Get Osbos back on an op, another core factor for them. And this push here from Verna. You have a dart. You have a dart, sir. Doesn't need it.
No, he's got minima.
No, that shouldn't help.
It does.
No, it's not the minima. It never will be, Vance. It never will
it's the
be.
minima.
Nice job by Verno there, clearing 2 and at that tight situation event. And a few rounds for themselves now to here to start stacking the economy and make some decisions and see if they can't really figure out how to crack this energy defense.
It'll be tough. Another guess coming through from MIBR and the first op that comes out on the defense too for energy. So if they are trying to go for that fast hit on middle for that control in the first place, then it's going to be instantly punished by Mata.
Why not? He's shown you 2 fights in mid. Why wouldn't you go back for it for another one? Almost tempting it at that point. He's been solo every time. There's a quick shot.
Yeah, Kiko was just trying to find the timing. Smoke comes up, count to 3 seconds, try to get the spray.
Yeah, yep.
There they are.
Beautiful Hunter's Fury, though.
Hit him in the knee. TP out. Kiko safe for now. Very nice site take. Osbot's going to hide on that right side. Brock able to find one through the smoke, starting before it even begins here on the retake. Oh my gosh, Vance, it is just not stopping. From the vents here, Verno, maybe another one, or Brock rather, maybe another one?
Yep.
Oh, the shock dart onto Tex. They're going to start trading util back and forth here. And we still just have a waiting Mata to help get back into sight. They finally have enough here to do it. Great hold so far by MIBR. They need to string this round together as well. And they're going to do that. No problem on it. Well, shot by Mata, though. Do they want to drop the up? How bad do they want to drop is the question.
They don't have money to work with. I think right now for Mata, he should try to go for a pick, make it expensive if he can, but just getting punished in the end. As we talked about MIBR loving to use Osbos on the op on the attack side previously, they decide not to pick it up for this round. So Osbos is going to go Vandal side against Energy on the attack. That said, you have to commend Tex right here in these plays. Pushing forward and getting those 2 kills doesn't really allow. I think that second salvo is probably still available for Ethan, which is another great point to the composition that they're running here for the side of Energy. They can really flood with a lot of util back at the site. And Tex was able to open that up.
I mean, I'm sure Osbos is talking a lot, but this is the most clips we've had of him in a game. Like, actually being vocal for the squad. Like, he's always saying things, but we usually don't get the reacts from him. So it's cool to see that he's vibing out there as well, even in his focus mode. Bonkar chatting it up again. And most of the NRG guys listening here to figure out what they can do to stop MIBR's pushes here. They've actually played the rounds a little bit late, as we've been seeing. The one where Zekin was able to take out the push from B, and then the previous one we just saw a little bit quicker with the early darts and util use from both teams right out of the gate. So a nice variation of that, but MIBR do like the low round, slow rounds.
If you use ChatGPT for content and anything to create agents, then you need to stop, because this agent literally does
util use from both teams right out of the gate. So a nice variation of that, but MIBR
That's it.
like the low round, slow rounds.
We'll move soon into territories where you're going to be able to start cycling ults on the side of Energy for the next, in 2 rounds rather. Maybe Mata being the
Who would
first
you
one
pick,
to
Cortezia or Ian?
for the side of Energy. But then for
I
MIBR,
mean,
you have the null for Energy on their attack side to start. This is still now looking at a 4-1 on that second half for the side of MIBR. It almost looks like a very impossible task to come through here for MIBR to bring this into overtime, but it's definitely doable with how they've been opening up here Energy on their attack side.
We'll take them a second to pop right out of the timeout, because we are now into a tech pause. So they have a lot of time to think about it before they get into their strategy. But I agree. Have to see what they have in store for us. Fraud. And the rest of the team now quiet. One of the things from MIBR side was watching the Zekin interview was that in their previous game, it was cool from the player's point of view to hear how their mistakes felt. And he said, we made mistakes towards the late portion of the round and not the beginning portion, which means our fundamentals are very good and the late round is very easy to fix. And that was really cool to hear. Like, you may have a lot of them there, but at the end of the round, those are ones we can share up for the next time. And it seems like here, they did have decent fundamentals, but getting towards the site, they kept getting attacked. On the flip side, they have a different mentality, and we're seeing their attack, which is just their own in its own right. But that was very cool kind of portion from him to see how the team feels. And we've seen Zekin and G2's Jogamo do amazing things on our stage, but today they're facing a new challenge.
Hello everyone, my name is Zekin. Riot Games has supplied me with a knife, and I'm going to use it to play Split Decision, in which I have to cut this cake in half and try and make them weigh an equal amount.
I have a hot dog with me because guess what? I got that dog in me. Today's goal is me splitting the hot dog in half, so wish me luck.
So, off the bat, I'm thinking about slicing it right down the middle, in between these flowers. I feel like it would be nice and even.
We'll roll the weenie around, make sure it's the correct measurement. Okay, the dog's looking good.
But I have to take into account these sprinkles, you know? Every one of them weighs like half a gram or something, so it's very important that I count all of them individually.
All right, I'm cutting the hot dog right now.
I just hope I make a clean cut, dude. No. I'm feeling good about this. These look even. Actually, my right one might be a little bit bigger. I might be cooked.
Let's go. One. What does it say? Okay. 2-7.
Stay on the knife. No.
What does it say? I didn't get it, man. Oh my god, this glizzy's bigger than this one.
It's a beautiful piece right there. It also has the table all over it.
What am I supposed to do? I'm gonna compare it. Yo, Alright. The tip is bigger on this dog.
My final weights were 267.6 grams for this slice on the left, and then 260.5 grams for this slice on the right.
Final readings that I have for these dogs, I have, I think, 2.9 and 2.7, so the tip was a little bigger on this dog.
I think I did a wonderful job, and I think these are wonderful cakes.
This dog wins, unfortunately, and I did not win the split decision, so sorry about that. But I think I did a pretty good job.
And I'm very thankful to Riot Games for letting me cut cakes in half and weigh them.
Thank you guys for watching.
Taking such adding energy. One.
Trying to look for something. Scuba untouched and unbeatable. Agora contra 4 jogadores vai ser pressionado. Pode vir. Bora Verdo!
We are back with VCT Americas. Thank you for your patience. We are here on Abyss second half, and it has been quite a second half for MIBR. There was a bit of a punch to the throat from NRG on their bonus round, as you can see there, but they get right back in it. They caught their breath. They pull 2 more rounds in Vans, and they're making a run for this.
That's why the timeout's super important as well for NRG's side. It's for MIBR to make any mistake and they lose that map, so NRG have to button things up a little bit on that side. Verno already going for some information early with that knife too. Realizing now that NRG's playing off site.
Aspas
get into a plant.
Who can follow? Everybody's in. They're realizing that they can kind of bully around NRG here on the lower by round, and that's exactly what they should be doing, taking that confidence right to the front door. Nospas is going to stay up there. He's like, yeah, I'm going to play the risky position for a moment.
Energy are definitely looking to flood back as well. Drones looking for info. Shock dart. There's some damage. That's good in the end. Yeah. The round's going to come in for MIBR, but I feel that there's still a small misstep on MIBR's anti-eco here. To still give that plant for Mizzino and not to give it for anybody else. Tex is now 2 away from his ult. If he actually got that plant down, they could go for orb control in the next. Ospas is also 2 away on his own. That would have given him a chance here to, again, snowball some ultimates. Give him a chance to hopefully string a couple of these rounds, but it's a little bit of a mishap.
That's a new song, apparently. Tex making it up there. Over towards the left, so looks like they might just rip this null command at the end of whatever strategy round 19 has for us. Early smoke mid from NRG to start him off there and just slow down any push.
Oh, that's huge. Ooh. Yeah, Mana could stay on this line. The salvo actually pushed Verno away from the drone, so Mana could still continue here. Especially with the knife being shot out, this has to be a little bit of a signal, at least for the side of MIBR, that they should not continue to commit. If you're playing out in the open like that and immediately breaking util,
so much commitment to it. Yeah,
that there's going to be an op or at least Mata and somebody in aggressive position.
It's a great call. You got to be heady on the state of the game. It's one of the things we see both of these teams being very aware of what possible situations could be at hand. And here, Brock looking for another 1, 2, 3 maybe if they come through.
This is also preparation coming in from Energy. This camera that's being thrown by Tex, when you're throwing these smokes on the top of that mid side, he uses a camera to ping the door and he breaks it as a wallbang and lurks up. And as it gets broken up, they could try to go for the late hit, the 4-1 at that spot. So that's why Energy, they already have 2 players on top of that side.
Kiko Paranoia is also stored up there. He's trying to get away from this null command.
30 seconds left.
Just orbing out into sight. Brock looks straight down in. No one's really trading. They're all standing to the left side of the smoke as they see their duelists go in. And this could be it now for NRG. Instantly shutting down MIBR in the entry, but at Verno, alive for a moment, can't get over to Mizzino to get him alive. And now Tex, the last one alive as the kills come through. TP to the other side. Tex is trying to find the kills. He heard the TP, so he's trying to swing it back and forth, and he keeps it alive for now. There's no time on the clock as it's been delayed, and NRG get a 13-6 Abyss.
A strong start for the side of Energy and a dominating map in the end. I'm actually glad we had a little bit of a tech pause that allows for us to stretch that game a little bit because it was very dominant for the side of Energy in the first place. One thing I think I have to commend Energy on is, you know, we've been harping on that team having a very, very slow start to the beginning of the year of 2025. But now since the kickoff in here in 2026, man, they are looking to string a lot of these rounds on their side at the beginning.
Crazy stuff here. Scuba with the ace to start, really lighting the fire for Energy to show us what they have in these situations and what they can be bringing to the table. We are going to have Split coming up next, something we get to see from these teams. It's going to be new. We're getting to learn together. It's going to be awesome. Don't go anywhere. We got more VCT Americas after the break.
You don't look so good, boss.
Tell me about it. It's a real inferno down here, and I'm burnt out.
Here, try a Red Bull. It's devilishly good.
Red Bull? Oh, that tastes heavenly. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Wings? Wings? I can't have wings. Not in my position.
Red Bull gives you wings.
No, they watching. No, they watching.
Scuba untouched and unbeatable. Agora contra 4 jogadores vai ser pressionado. Pode vir, pode vir. Bora Verdo!
I'm standing here with Bonkar, and you guys looked flawless, especially in that first half, and you ended up stealing away MIBR's map pick. Did you expect to play that well going against a supposed super team? And if so, like, what was kind of the preparation going into this match?
We had very good prep on them on Abyss, to be honest, but mainly we're just focusing on ourselves, trying to get into our groove and play our game and playing in our tempo.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly did that. Good luck in the next map.
It ain't a VCT broadcast unless a coach says they played their match. That's right, folks. But that's exactly what happened, though. NRG comes up with the win 13-6. MIBR tries they might. Did everything they could to fight back into this one, but the world champs were just too good, dominating MIBR on their own map pick. And look, they're starting off with yet another bonus win as well. I mean, Dryad, like this team, they just can't be stopped in those critical moments.
They played 3 maps so far, and 4 bonus they've been able to get away with. 2, it was the second half, and also the second half of that second map against Cloud9. But it really shows, and the reason why it's just not, you know, it has an explanation. It is that buy that they're having with the light armor that they've been doing since champs. They continue to do it, and teams, it seems like they don't really realize how easy it can be to punish that.
Yeah, I feel like just getting an outlaw on the other side might be enough to punish, but yeah, it's really helping them snowball a lot of their economy into these rounds, as well as getting all those out orbs. They're really proactive with that, so NRG just looking really good for that section.
Yep, and it helps a lot that their execs are flawless.
True.
We talked about it a bit before the match even started, and you know, we go into the bonus round, and Tex, he had no chance.
Yeah, he had no chance on site.
It's truly impressive stuff, without a doubt, from NRG. I mean, Jonah, what else was sticking out for you in that game? Because it did feel like when NRG on that first half, that 11-1, so dominating, you could tell that confidence was through the roof for those guys.
Yeah, for NRG, I mean, it looked very easy for them. And while I was watching the game, something I noticed is on MIBR side, it felt like they weren't trusting each other. Very like hesitant, retaking, and then out of nowhere somebody's in sight when they shouldn't be, or vice versa. It felt like they weren't on the same page, but I have a feeling they're gonna talk about that and fix it for the next game.
Yeah, certainly things that you're gonna need to want to clean up as you get ready for the second map here. But one player though who ain't in a position to clean anything up because he's absolutely dominating. It was Scuba. Started things off with an ace, Myrna, there's no big deal.
Yeah.
Right? It kicks off the show, but then from there just continues to put on a great show.
Dude, we were even talking in the green room. Jonah, you're like, is this a 5-bullet ace? Only 5-bullet shots? We thought it was gonna be like that, but it wasn't. But it doesn't matter because Scuba, he's really... Wait, they put Scuba Do on here. Let's go!
Let's go!
He's been phenomenal. I mean, putting his wall up, playing around with his util, being able to kind of make sure that he has that Viper pit on site when they're doing their executes. I feel like everything he's done has been really good. They actually had these stats versus C9 versus MIBR, and you can just tell that he's super consistent as well.
It has been really impressive to see Scuba play that opening match against Cloud9, and also the match that we are seeing right now against MIBR against Cloud9. Those last 3 rounds when things were getting a bit more complicated on Breeze, it was because of him, whether it was the Viper spit, whether it was a bit of those kills, those clutches. He's doing this constantly, and also lets this energy team start and to get some momentum from that early round to that 11-1 that we saw.
He's their clutch player constantly, which is crazy.
Here's the thing though, now we go into split, and something you guys had noted before is we haven't really seen this, right? So kind of an unknown commodity coming into this one. What are we reading here, Dryad? How are we feeling about both teams coming into split? Can we see a closeout for NRG?
I definitely see it being a 2-0 for NRG. I'm super confident in this team. We talked about it. I feel like the experience really shows in the way that they played with each other. We saw it in the opening. We just saw it again. Even when things get a bit more complicated on site, the way that they're playing with each other, I just want to see what Kiko is going to be playing. I don't mind a double duelist. Kiko now has been playing 3 different agents as well so far. He's played the Neon, the Killjoy. We just saw him on the Omen. I feel like split is anything they want.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised for a double duelist.
What would you prefer in that instance?
Honestly, how this meta is probably double duelist for split. And especially, I think it matches NRG's playstyle.
What's the benefits of double duelist for people who may not know?
The benefits for double duelists is basically just, your straight up execs are, stronger than, just the bursty pops.
Yeah.
And, if teams don't react in the right way, if they try to hold it up front, it can get extremely dicey. So.
Yeah. Essentially, you're just getting punched in the face multiple times by the double duelist, right?
Especially for an energy that we've seen, they like to go for those fast hits sometimes. And that double duelist really, really helps.
Yeah, well, let's figure out what's going on in the MIBR camp right now. They have a lot that they need to figure out as they get ready for map 2. Let's go ahead and check in with Emily once again.
I'm standing by here with Coach Fraud, and you guys did just lose your map pick against the world champs. But, you've looked really solid up until this point, and we even saw you guys kind of heating up in the end there. So I'm just wondering, what are some quick fixes you're looking to make going into map 2?
We had a really slow start. They're a world-class team, and we can't give them too much space. We can't give them too much momentum. So we're just really focusing on our game plan and just making sure we start the game off on the right foot.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that. Best of luck.
All right, well, there you heard right from Coach Fraud, right? They had that slow start. I think, of course, that is a safe thing to say. And look, I want to address the elephant in the room here outright. You had a couple tech pauses, kind of slowed things down a little bit, Myrna. I'm assuming, you've been on the stage, you've experienced that start-stop, right? That's always a difficult thing to have to work with.
I mean, it always sucks when you're kind of losing that momentum, or especially if you kind of have a game plan from the last round. You start to sit there and you're thinking about it and you kind of tend to lose it just a little bit. I think too, when you're facing against NRG, who they don't
That's the thing, you have to regain, right?
Yeah,
no matter what.
They don't seem to be kind of faltered by that momentum stop. They don't really care, and their vibes definitely push up to that. So it's definitely annoying, but I think it kind of is the name of the game here. I mean, you're on the stage. You got to lock in when you need to.
And it also feels like Energy had an upper hand because MIBR played this map before. So it was clear that Energy knew how MIBR were going to play.
Which is what Bonkar said.
Aspas pushing, or it was the mid gaps that we talked about in the pre-show. There were just those little things that really helped out Energy get some momentum going. So now that we're going to map of split, there's a chance for MIBR to get a bit more comfortable and know that they can run their own strats that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Is that your read as well, Jonah?
My read for them, I think this is going to go 3 maps. I'm very confident in that.
Yeah? Okay.
And I think towards the end of the game, you saw Aspas and Tex making jokes, laughing when they're getting, stomped. So I think that's going to play a big part in the next game.
Oh, I like what Jonah's cooking over here, folks. All right, everyone, we're going to send it to a quick break. But on the other side, Riv and Van Silly are going to see you for another epic game of Valorant right on Split. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
To get into Split, our second map of this series, in new grounds for both of these teams here in 2026, as we've seen on the VCT stage.
Yeah, Energy hasn't played this since Red Bull Homegrounds.
Yeah.
And then also for the side of MIBR, they haven't played since the summer's off-season. So I'm expecting, that's what I wanted to see. Some double duelists. Finally, we get to see Zekin being that secondary duelist for the side of MIBR. Long have we waited, now we finally get it on that side. But also, if we want to look at it, Energy, we haven't seen him at all, and they still want to take advantage of that Whaley and Natejo. So I feel like they're trying to build their own meta right now by keeping these two guys in tandem as well. Just kind of like that tail meta in the past with the Breach and the Yoru. But now you don't need that Breach to help out anymore, because Mana is going to be very self-sufficient on that Whaley to be able to just do the saturate on top of the salvos to be able to gain that space. So very fun looks, as it's not going to be as new for the composition for the side of MIBR, but MIBR plays to their own strengths, trying to keep the compositions, recycle them, but have different looks every time.
It is neat to see, though. We don't see too many raises these days on Split. You still have a few. Obviously, it's comfort pick. Yeah, you'll see a lot of the waylays and things that can get in and out safely.
But it just makes me remember last year we were talking about how Aspas that one map that he finally won on Vine was like his first Raze game that he won in a year. Now he plays Raze again on Split, but you know what? It's a different story. Ospas is the activated Ospas from last year, so this will be a banger second map.
See where they go to start. Smoke to just kind of deny entry into the side over at A. More of a hard hold on mid, but it is MIBR's focus to get themselves in sight here.
So much focus on middle. They don't care about that B side because, again, this composition is very good between the Wayland and Tejo to just flip back and disrupt here on your hit. So they're just looking to fight MIBR toe-to-toe, knowing that the double dive right now, it's easy to take the ramp side, but also for MIBR side, they're playing full contact, 5-man hit.
Oof. Got a family photo if you try to peek ramp right now. All of MIBR are ready and locked in. We do see that Sheriff still, as you were talking about. They're taking a hold on Heaven. We'll play out the site until they either feel comfortable to go over towards B through frags or waterfall into sight. But right now, this is the point where Energy says, we're still in a position to make them come to us. So how can they do that? Oh, 1-for-1 there to start it off. And this is going to activate everybody from spawn. Scuba's peeking out at just the right time to get another kill. And this is going to force MIBR into the site.
What a nice flash. We'll talk about that in a second, though, because MIBR is getting the plant and they're turtled up in the side. They can't really play off-site anymore, so they have to trust each other as they already lost one, though.
Cuss goes in. Mata already takes a hit and goes back. Oh, my gosh. A stiff wind will blow these two over, and that's what Ethan brings. The Sky knocks them down, and it's a quick defuse here with energy on the retake.
Yeah, it almost also looks like for Tejo, for the side of Energy, they're putting a lot into the special delivery, the stun and the damage that comes on top of that, both of them being super low. And mind you, as we're going for this compositional switch, it's actually Brock playing this Tejo as well. But I want to underline that flash. So nice out from Ethan.
What are you doing? You're jumping with the frenzy twin? What the fuck?
Question was who was going to bring the vibes now that Storm stepped out.
Yeah.
And Mata answered it correctly. Pretty much everybody across the board here have their moments and lift each other up. But the flash coming in from spawn side over into the A side elbow, so you flood on that spot. Something very rare that we don't usually see, but something that's not as rare that we're seeing today is a tech pause.
What's that?
A pause, a technica.
Oh, yeah. We'll get that sorted out. It wouldn't be Energy versus MIBR if we didn't have a quick tech pause after a cool round. But it will be this time, so we stay consistent. We like the continuity here.
Yeah, if anything, to digest more on that pistol round when MIBR did a great job contacting on the top of that ramp, right? They used the Viper wall. They went for the contact. You talked about the family photo. As soon as they saw, the first shots coming through, that's kind of like the flash. I'm blinded. I'm going to have to fall back.
Yeah.
So NRG really just gave that fake space
for
MIBR.
Why not?
Take over Heaven. You're trying to hold that spot. And any type of util that they're trying to use to make sure that they clear it towards the spawn side or whatnot, it found zero value. So NRG's spacing is actually very good, too, to ignore the util being thrown on the attack side so they can just punish it right after.
Yeah, the idea, I think, that round from the beginning for Energy was safe, right? 4 in mid. If you even saw anything, there's a simple trade there. They were definitely moving as a pack just to ensure quite a bit of damage that round. Is the fold perfect, Hex? That's the question. Do the corners meet? Because if they don't, why are you trying? Why? Can't lose focus.
Wait, each side too. That was actually a fun little segment between Zek and Jogimo.
Oh yeah, who can cut the best? That's a tough one. I mean, the K-Cat sprinkles you had to take in consideration. And then some of it's coming off on the knife. I think the hot dog was much easier, but then Jogmo's one tip was too big. What are you gonna do?
At least now it allows for us to talk a little bit more about what we're trying to touch upon on that first map when we talked about, being new IGLs going into, or newer IGLs, newish, having a little bit of experience for both Ethan and for Verno. But now we're going into this second map where both of these teams coming out with their first looks in 2026. So sometimes you're going to have to overthink here for the side of Ethan and Verno. And will that actually nullify the value that he brings in terms of firepower? But so far for Ethan, no, he's looking very comfortable right now on that stage.
They are indeed. They are indeed.
But they're going to need to do a lot of work right now to make sure that they're staying on top of one another to try to at least close out the series if they can for the side of Energy. If not, MIBR trying to push this onto Breeze. Breeze will be a very fun one as well to look at if we get there.
Well, as they keep the vibes up, jumping around on the map on stage for this tech pause, we are going to make the most of this and turn this into a tech pause. That's pause, P-A-W-S. So if you're here in the studio, you got to get out your phones because your pets aren't here. But if you're at home, take a picture of your pets and put it out there to hashtag VCT Americas. I'm actually grabbing mine right now to figure out which one I can send over there. Go ahead, Vance. Take it away. I got to find a picture.
Meow Wolf.
Actually, I have one of Desmo right here under my PC.
That's your cat's name.
Desmo, yes.
Where does Desmo come from?
It is named after Ducati engines of motorcycles.
Sick.
Because he purrs very loud. It was a very fitting name. A very fitting name. I am trying, okay. Here is my cat. My cat. Do we have a hashtag pause in there? Nope, just tech pause, VCT America. Boom. Cat sent over the interwebs.
All right.
And you should too. Or dog.
And now again, the exciting factor as we're able to continue to talk about this this second map too is Zekin now showing up as this duelist too. He's been not necessarily quiet because when it comes down to watching that last week performance that he had, he didn't put up the huge numbers in, but at the same time, he just has enough aura that there's so much respect given to him.
Oh my gosh,
that you forget other people as well.
It's crazy.
Even Zekin talked about it. Man, they're so afraid of me at this time. And now you have to be worried about Zekin playing as this Yoru. MIBR on a pistol eco, just going to farm ores. But the thing is, there's nobody really rolling a default on that side over towards A. So it's very hard for them to go back at that point to just maximize these orbs. Maybe picked up by Mata here as soon as he clears towards the A main side. But that is confirmation now after orb being picked up and you have this forward of control towards that A site. That MIBR are just looking to slow things down on that mid take, which is why you're cycling util this time around for energy. Snakebite already out. You're going to go smoke to smoke. And then gun out for Brock to try to mow some players down here on the Stinger.
I think if there's any contact here, we're going to see Brock util through that smoke. Stinger fall back. Both of them playing the same thing. Oh, my. Oh, little cat and mouse there. And Tex gets his head blown off as he tries to come up the rope. Mazzino checking for Kiko, and he does find him. But Kiko gets some great info that they're still just trying to default around the map here towards the B side.
Yeah, special delivery is going to do a lot again. Oh, never mind. Just brings it across the wall, but at least found information. This is still going to be a finish for MIBR towards this B side. They already have 3 players there for energy, so this should be an easy one. Gives me a chance here to just commend on Scuba's mechanical skills to be able to fall back the way he did after he's getting hunted down so quickly by 4 players.
The wherewithal to turn around for the quick kill, knowing it's still in a safe, right? It's
you know your timings.
So good. And the timings there for the B take are going to be thwarted. NRG clean up a second round here as we get to the bonus. That's talked about this, how many they were able to convert and how strong Energy has been on the bonus. So let's see if MIBR can really take it to them on this one.
Yeah, because also when you're looking at what Energy brings out, winning pistol round, getting for a bonus to get rounds where they have a lot of rifles on their side too.
Yeah.
But now that they haven't lost too many players in the process though for the side of Energy, it's going to stay with what they had. Stingers, Judge, Bulldog. How do we want to run this here for Energy?
Oh! I heard it from the crowd before I saw it on the screen. Hiya! Quick little tech pause coming in here. Oh, hope it's quick. Round by round. Round by round. Man. All right. And Jonah P said 3rd map, so I'm ready for that.
I'm sorry?
Jonah P said 3rd map.
Yeah, guaranteed,
he is considered that we are guaranteed a 3rd map here on Debris.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at what MIBR is pulling out right now as their composition is something that's fairly known as well in terms of how you run things. You've seen some teams going into 2026 where they want to redefine the meta too, especially with Timotino for 100 Thieves, with how you're just pinpointing players that you just want to isolate and kill, going into like the shorty dash kills that he does very, very well. And it's fun to see that going into place, but the MIBR comp is still a sure lock right now to make this very doable on their side here for MIBR. Just as Fraud mentioned in the between map interview with Emily, you just got to play your own game, focus on what the game plan was. You understand where you're going to play against your opponents too. If you're going to play against the Waylay as a coach and you're watching these Vons and you're trying to prep for these, you already know the gaps that the Waylay is going to take when she's going to dash. How much more in terms of meters of like 5, 10 with the saturate when she's going to throw that, right?
Oh,
So you could space yourself quite well to avoid that utility and fight back right after, which is something that Furia did excellently versus Sentinels in that upset match.
Yeah. That was a professional observer cat, by the way. Yeti's cat.
And that's a professional caster cat.
That's a caster cat. That's right. A big old Maine Coon. Who do we got here? Samso Kun's cat. Amazing. The tech paws are coming through. We love it. All right, we do need some dogs, though.
No, it's okay.
Where are the dogs?
I am a dog person, but I just like animals in general.
Oh my
Even
God,
better.
it's a guinea pig.
Even better.
That looks like a little snap pea. There we go.
Smiling at the same time.
Look at the flannel.
Little puppy eyes. Less puppy eyes.
There is a treat in the hand on the other side of that picture.
Sab is staring straight into my soul.
Whoa!
What? Is that cat radiant?
Yeah, probably, because he's looking at the play we just failed. It's like, you did what with that smoke?
That sounds like a duo game between you and I.
Hello. Do you have games on your phone? This is good. This is how we spend the tech pause, ladies and gentlemen. Baba Booey.
That has to be Lhasa Apso, Shih Tzu. Love those. Those used to be my dogs. Hard to own a dog now. My wife's unfortunately allergic to dogs.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, that's the look I give you when you say that. You don't have a dog, what?
Hey, I'm living vicariously through these pictures.
Oh, the loaf feed? We love a good loaf. Loafing.
What? Oh, when the cat looks like a loaf of bread?
Yes.
I see.
Oh my gosh. Fly.
Tumnus is doing what I'm doing, snoozing over this tech pause.
Look at that. So good.
Actually, that's live, right? Because that's split right there.
That
just
is.
a couple of seconds
That
ago.
is. And that's what we're doing currently as we wait. But we do have our pros to explain their in-game names in a new episode of Profiles. Thank you so much for all the pause.
Okay, so my in-game name. So I just put my last name because that's what people started calling me in school at the time. So like Valorant came out and I had just changed schools, and there was already an Eduardo in the class. So they started calling me by my last name, and that was the first time it ever happened. So I thought it was cool, and then I put my last name as my IGN because again I didn't really think it through a lot. So that's it.
So the history of my IGN narrate, pretty much it just comes from, I used to have this name called Underrated. Like that was just my name in game and stuff. And I didn't like it because I just thought it was like too long to say. It's not a good name, to be honest. So I was making music at the time and I just want to find like a shorter version of that. So I just found the word narrate out of, rated, like underrated. I just found rated out of that and then made narrate. And obviously it relates to music, so I just thought it was a good name, and then the 4 is just because I'm really awesome and cool, and I just like pressing numbers.
The story behind my IGN is pretty simple. I wanted to be a try-hard back in Call of Duty days. I wanted something short, Apex. Everybody had Apex, so it's Apex backwards with an extra P and an A.
I played on like a minigame server, and there was like a community.
Nah.
I had friends with the president, the senator, the mayor, and then I made myself the governor. Got rid of the because it was cleaner, but it's something that stuck. A lot of people think it's from like The Walking Dead, but it's nope, not that. Even though that would be easier than saying all this. Yeah, it's from The Walking Dead. Done. Maybe I should just lie, but yeah.
It's pretty random, honestly. My name used to be Virtue. Then everybody called me Vert anyway, or Verty, so I just made it that, and we're here now.
It's kind of just something that came from the saying of he's popping off or this guy's popping or whatever, anything like that. Whenever I played CS, it always was a kind of common thing that I'd hear, so that's the main reason.
Oh, my IGN, my real name is Timothy, and my grandparents used to call me either Kimo or Tino, and so I just took both those nicknames, put them together, and that was it. That's how I came up with it.
So in German, Meister means like master of something, and then my initials, like my real initials, are EG. So it's just like Eggmaster, kind of.
It's just like something I saw and I was like, that's a cool name. So it's like really no story to it.
When I was like 9 years old, like I played Minecraft like competitively, like PvP, like
like Bad Lion. Like I feel like a lot of players might know what that is if they came from it. And my name was Big Fry 15. And then Minecraft made it where like you can change your name. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this name. Like I don't know why I made this my name. And I joined a random Minecraft server and I typed in chat like, what should I make my Minecraft name? And some guy named Untitled MC, and his name's Kevin, I think. I like catch up with this guy like every like 2 years or something. Like he'll just randomly message me like, holy crap, you're a pro. He was just like, bro, Koala Noob. And I'm like, you know what? Like for some reason in my head, like my 10-year-old head, I'm like, I love it. And yeah, I just became Koala Noob.
So where does Vansili come from?
So I used to play this mod in Quake 3 called Urban Terror. So it's kind of like looks kind of like Counter-Strike. And I had two teammates of mine called Vendetta and Vinsanity. So I wanted to have like a cool V vowel N name. And then I watched a movie called Enemy at the Gates, which was all about snipers back in like 2002, 2003. Sorry, I'm old. I know, I'm a dinosaur. But I was a sniper for my team. So I said, oh, instead of being Vasily, I'll just add an N in there, and I became Vansili.
So you're an op crutch.
Not anymore, because I can't opt for Bam in this game.
Fair enough. That's really cool. It's always fun to see where people get their names from because it's something that it's ingrained in them, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it's like Mada, but it's actually Adam. It's your name, you know? A lot of them coming out of the TAC FBS scene would just turn your name around. I mean, that's my name. My longest CS name was Pixel, though. I don't know. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I used that. I just did.
Have you had
it's
multiple?
Like, cool, that one, it's really good.
Yeah. Have you had multiple evolutions of your aliases until one actually stuck? I guess you did because you finished with Rivington.
No, they'd always just change to something super random for the current time.
Yeah.
And then, after Pixel, nothing really stuck until Riv or Rivington. And I was like, nobody's going to have that one.
I started with Shinji because of Evangelion.
Okay.
And then I went over to
nobody liked you.
Yeah, basically. And then I went on to Shocky, Shockwave, and then Vansili, and that's stuck since.
Cool. Yeah. Got it. Yes. The imaginary Valorant. He is so deep inside, he doesn't even have that screen anymore.
He doesn't need it.
Yeah.
This guy, every one of his kills is
intuitive. Now even from Oxbox's point of view. From the man himself. So we're just getting that sorted out. Thank you so much for your patience throughout this. Get the right client open for this man so he knows what he's hearing and seeing. And we're going to get back in the game. We are on that bonus round again to see if NRG can bring themselves over that finish line to keep the strength going from map to map here. Already a 13-6 first map. If you missed it, it was very dominant on Abyss by NRG, showing us the Tejo comp and how they just continue to push through with those double initiators. But we'll see what they got in here on Split. Both teams showing us what they have here in 2026.
So pressure of the unknown as well for the side of MIBR with Fraud coaching and also Verno having the IGL, because if you're looking at Split, the map here that's being chosen by Energy, well, the last time that they showed that composition, or at least this map, was during the Red Bull Homegrounds, as we mentioned before.
Right.
But the comp that they brought in was actually Kiko playing like a the Killjoy, if I'm not mistaken, so switching around between KJ and Omen depending on the maps. And that in itself wasn't a real test into Energy trying to work a new meta going into the offseason. Bonkar mentioned it in a conversation with an independent interviewer, which is entry Andre.
Got it.
So they were talking about it where he was also mentioning where it was more of like a team building exercise and moment and event for Kiko to just be accustomed and acclimated to the team, because outside of that Red Bull Homegrounds, all the practice that was done was still him playing at the 100 ping while he's still trying to work his visas coming into North America here. So it gives them a chance to get to know each other quite early, and then just create a little bit of a brotherhood, friendship. You're already seeing it from the pictures. It's like a trio right now between Mata, Scuba, and also Kiko, just being the bad boys now on the Energy socials. And now just finally going into getting acclimated and now building your team, building your strats, building your meta, and now going with a whole different composition that throws MIBR potentially for a loop right now to have to rethink.
Yeah, and if the coaches are true to their word, like GB says, it's always said they're playing their game, the way they practice, it's what keeps them comfortable, and that could very well be what helps MIBR push into this bonus round so they can get themselves on the board. Here we are, back in. Thank you so much for your patience. VCT Americas is live once again here with NRG versus MIBR, and they flex a little towards B. Last time it was leaving Mazzino. Now they're going to leave Zekin, which means a little bit more of how this strat's going to play out.
And remember, this is a bonus round for energy. So already when you have Ethan pushing out and breaking that boom bot, you're now forcing MIBR to make the next play. And they're playing a slow default right now on their side, expecting an energy push, which is why you kind of have players just on the extremities watching for these pushes. But as it continues to stay super quiet, which has been the name of the game for energy, at least for the first few rounds, MIBR will have to go for the blind hit into a site and hoping that the util is good here to really overtake their opponents. And it looks to be a split potentially for Vents control at the start.
Yeah, a little bit of movement now for Tex up the ramp. And that's going to give them a little more access to that vent control that you're talking about if they want to take it. But there's also a paranoia ready here to take Heaven on B side.
Yeah, so and also with the time remaining. So you have 30 seconds left. They already dogged 15 seconds ago. Then they went for the drone and they still see Zekin here. You don't have a TP anymore for that Yoru, so you're probably just going to think that they're going to split into this B site. So they have the perfect read now with the numbers for energy on the high-low crossfires.
3 in sight. Ethan still has a flash in the back so they can get back into the fight. Dodging the first one, and Ospas has already got us off to the races. Somehow Energy are finding 2 to answer 3 now. And they're keeping it quiet still. There's almost no action, and Energy is just hiding in the shadows, waiting for the peaks from MIBR. And it's going to be an NRG round just like that.
Ethan is amazing right now in his form from champs until now. What really helped here, Energy move them forward to hoist that trophy at champs is also, remember, the breach from Ethan on Sunset.
Yeah.
And his firepower, the way that he moves around, the way that he jiggles across, finding his perfect opportunities to isolate these fights is just pure advantages of fragging IGL that you have now for Energy's arsenal.
He still had that flash in hand, too. I was like, I don't even need it. We're just going to go ahead and clean this up. 7-0, not a problem. Seeker's ready. And that previously, they had Scuba's ult to get into Vents on Abyss early because of his ace. Now they have another big ultimate early and ready to stop MIBR. Whether they use it or not for the low buy, they might just go for the throat on MIBR's next buy.
There is a rifle, though, for Zekin. Small shield with a Phantom, and he's looking for the opener here. Getting one pick would be perfect for them to move into the next round. He could still buy in the next. He'll have Dimensional Drift. Does get the dink onto Ethan. Unfortunately, that will not result into an orb and not into any map space at all here for MIBR as well.
So he's using Mata now just to get a bit more space and clear that back because he's so low. They already heard the Judge and Vents, walked right away from Scuba once they heard him take down the dog, or the Prowler rather. Now they're going to work it towards B. A little bit of a lurk from Zekin on this one. Full cleared on the right side. This is going to be an easy move for Energy now, but can they get into defensive position quick enough?
I already thought they had the read there with how forward Mata was on that A line already, but using the Seekers, you'll take it on that side for MIBR in your quasi-eco.
So much space. Yeah, they're looking. Like, is he there? Oh, he's going to clean blindside them with his timing. Chooses the last one and is going to back off to play his life. Great pressure from Mata.
20 seconds left, though. Energy's overreading that. It's a hit from Vents to A, and finally, here comes the clone up, and that's the call.
They have
hit
separated
towards the B site.
Just a little bit. You're right, it could be the reason MIBR gets the ground they need. Ethan goes down from the damage earlier. That headshot over at A pays off. They just have to be careful for the return fire from Kiko. He's done it before, but is there enough? There's too many angles. It's only the head of Mata, and it can't be taken off. Beautiful job there coming around. Actually, that was ahead of his teammate, but still another round for NRG.
Yeah, I mean, even Kiko already did an excellent job anchoring up on that site. Trying to figure out if he was going to get backstabbed in the front. He had a head on a swivel looking back towards that pillar, back towards Heaven, and then realizing after this kill on Heaven, there's no time left. I can hide around the pillar and then just win this off time for the team.
Jeez.
Looked good here for MIBR with that last second hit because it really felt like NRG overread and overthought the scenario. But the anchors around both Ethan and Kiko so far on the passive plays that they're holding around this B side has been excellent.
It does seem like unless the anchors move, they're still in a very advantageous position, even if they have the leaners going left and right between sites on the defensive side. Death ball status from MIBR, trying to put everyone together here for this gun round, and that operator from Mata is locked onto an A line. So again, NRG can move early. This is just like having that Seekers info almost, just not as guaranteed.
And Zekin's waiting for that TP to come across here. So here comes the ult, then you take full map control.
Nightfall, Molly's over top, so they're committing their lineups. They're committing everything here. Zekin's already made it back site. Mazzino's able to clean up too and bring hell straight to the doorstep of NRG. And Scuba's only able to get a sniff at 1 kill here. Still 4 members in sight for MIBR.
Yeah, somehow the Nightfall got a lot of value here. Lots of tethers that you saw around that site. And that just allowed MIBR to very quickly tempo into the site. Just catch the players off guard. Op shot misses, and that will be Mata forcing to save that. So the first time that you're showing the op, that'll keep MIBR ready going into the next round, knowing that they have to watch out after Mata now, having to utilize very early util to try to spot where the opera will be.
Exactly.
That's why you're playing this composition. We just talked about the differences here. Having Prowlers, having the Boom Bot. It'll give you a chance right now to really work around that map and maybe avoid Mata in the first place, or try to find ways to punish him on top of that if you realize where the opera is going to be posted up on the next round.
Nicely executed onto B. MIBR knew exactly what they were doing there, and I think it also shows a little bit of the trust, as Jonah P was mentioning, that MIBR was lacking in the last map. They knew backside was taken. They believed that hell would be covered, and you see everybody else's eyes fixed on the priority angles that are then becoming a threat. So very nicely done.
While they only had to use the Nightfall, that was the only thing that was available for them in the last round for MIBR, but Zekin getting that space and getting the kill, that's dimensional drift available right now. This is actually great looking at MIBR's next couple of rounds. They're looking a 5-man hit once again, using potentially this ult from Zekin.
They think they're crushing into the op maybe and trying to take it offline.
It's a great way to spot the info as well.
Yeah.
This gives space for Osbos. He gets a pick. That's a showstopper available for him as well. And now Ethan is anchoring once again.
Paranoia through to clear the back of the site, and the rest of Verno and the team are coming through. Completely controlled. Tex gives him a little bit to work with on the ramp as he eats that concuss. It backs up. And the util here, not fantastic for the side of Energy to get back into the site, and they're going to start to backpedal right away.
Yeah, so you currently have what we praise Energy for the last couple of rounds on the anchored plays from both Ethan and Kiko from round to round. The last two, though, they had perfect setup for numbers into the B side. I think they had 3 players there, but all of them got hit by the Nightfall. This time, Ethan's playing solo towards the A site, trying to flash and go for a play, but it's also punished. So now it'll have to be Energy trying to figure out if they want to slow down that tempo, maybe give up a little bit more space. We talk about how good the Waylay and the Teo is on the Flood retakes. And that might be a different look now coming in for Energy in the next few rounds.
The showstopper through kill or death. Osbos now has ultimate, and they continue to push just a little bit on the extremities. Oh, to see if they can find that. Yeah, found it.
They did. Yep.
Mizzino goes down, and Mata gets another one. The speed they're also working at really negates the op wanting to stand still too, so I like the up pace by MIBR.
Yeah, so now you get to keep it. Mazzino has his ult going to the next round, and we see some plays, at least on Corilled, when they're trying to TP all the way back through defender spawn and trying to crunch through and go for that pincer maneuver. Could be something that's very doable this time around, especially when you have Osbos and Zekin grouped together with Mazzino at this point. Op is moving on that side. The Boombot is trying to clear it out first, though. I like that it's the buddy system and Kiko breaking that down, hoping to see somebody else swing behind that Boombot where Mata could get the kill with the op. But he hasn't shown that hand yet, so MIBR, it's still question marks where that op could be.
Double star as well here from Kiko. Feeling like they may need to stop something right away as focus goes to mid. Really, the focus should be on A. Guiding Light doesn't actually tag anything. They were still hiding behind the wall, but the Prowler will give up a bit of this strategy.
Dog's got to confirm a lot, though.
There we go. Absolutely confirmed. They're going to quickly drone the side of B just so Energy can make the final correct move here if they have to rotate. And this is also that time that MIBR starts to activate.
It almost looks like they wanted to try to go for Heaven in the first place so they could try to leverage a showstopper from Heaven into A. But now finally with the TP flash, Hans, lots of util to try to get in.
Fake TP?
It's going back and forth. They're trying to waste out that util on the side of the defense first for Energy. And there is that hit. Nothing to stop him this time around.
Haunt in. Oh, little bump on the blast pack. They collide with each other there, and it slows down the hit. Scuba and team are ready to receive. MIBR have to work a little bit harder to get this one to go through now. They're still just breaching the site after a few times of entry. First miss leaves Scuba alive. He gets to create more problems in the back of the site. He's still alive. Scuba still alive. Finally gets taken down. And they got 12 seconds. 12 seconds. That's the final kill they needed. What a scatterbrain round coming in there once the ult couldn't get through from the showstopper.
Yeah, you could see there from Scuba, he was just trying to find when that person inside that A site was going to get behind him. So he's just very similar to what was happening before for Kiko, looking back and forth in that 180 degree. And finally, there's been enough pullback to allow here Scuba to fall down. Op shot was beautiful, but in the end, they were in prime position to trade off each other. So it didn't really matter that they lost that spike. It's just as we mentioned before, I love that look from MIBR. You tried to go quick, you're trying to fake out that it's a plow into the site. You wasted out 2 waves of util on the defense for the side of energy, and then you actually go for the hit. So very nicely done.
Regular pause.
Oh, thank God.
Team pause. This is the timeout coming in. And we'll get most likely from energy to figure out what the hits from MIBR are doing that are so effective. And I think that speed is one of them. They're doing a good job of also making B main think there's something there all the time, and somebody has to stay in B, taking one away from that A side as it gets hit constantly.
Yeah. The timeout's important as well for this side of energy, because now at this point, the tides have turned. The ults are actually more available on energy side, as you can see at the bottom of the screen now. Kiko with the big ult for retakes. Mata that could stall a lot with his slow field, and also Scuba with the ult. What I like as well from the looks of energy is we've seen against Cloud9, they don't really necessarily always use ult for big pops for site hits. They also use big ults for just map control, as the slow field from Mata is one of those key points that really slowed down that 4-1 setup that C9 tried to take over the orb all the time on Pearl. That's why you could see here they're not really trying to go for any type of trap plays. They're still trying to focus on their own look at the beginning on how they're defaulting, and they're map controlling that part.
Just like you called it, trying to get back into a position for themselves, and it's completely negated.
Off a clone.
Off that clone, off himself, he gets back into the gate crash. So while that position is lost, you got the convergence path, so it feels really good there. Towards mid, Mata says, we'll still give ourselves the first blood through spamming smoke. Nice timing there.
And just waiting as long as he can before he puts his snake bite down, so that also cancels out the paranoia.
He's almost able to get out. Has his secondary exit, though, in a saturate and just backpedal.
Just a very nice chess match from both of these teams in terms of depleting utility. Comes down now, again, to those fundamentals, which is why you're seeing MIBR group a lot more. 3 players now contact play on the top of that B heaven side, where it's being watched at the bottom from Brock with this Bulldog.
No noise made just yet. So they're wondering if this is a ruse, if something's happening. A main control isn't just there off the rip for them. As the sky starts to rotate, it's going to be the hit coming in from MIBR. The smokes make it difficult, but Scuba still knows where the targets are going to be dropping. And it's just Mazzino now in sight as Kiko is still back there. Energy strengthened the correct site and are there to make the play.
It looked like such a nice look at the beginning. When you have that Prowler and you're shooting that Prowler, well, technically, if that flash comes out of the smoke, it's going to fully blind Brock. But they didn't expect Scuba still at the bottom of hell, playing under the Omen smoke right here. So he doesn't get affected by any flash. 2 easy kills for him, which allows even Kiko playing outside in the open towards that back of the site to get his 1.
In those situations, it seems like MIBR is falling into the lap of energy.
Yeah.
And how they're ready.
Literally, yeah. Gifted kills onto Scuba at that spot in that previous round, but again, it looked good at the very beginning in terms of the macro, though, wasting out that ult and salvo play. There was no util left for Brock in the mid-round. Yet Energy is still able to anchor up with the buddy system inside B with the stacks.
Nice little aggression here from Zekin. Dog, saturate, quite a few things used over there towards A by NRG just to re-clear the space, and this may help as they go to B, as long as they're not spammed out here, as long as they don't get whittled down before they meet the site.
That'll just get Armageddon.
No, that's the truth, honestly. Brock's had some crazy positionings for that really affect his opponents.
Not this time.
To start it off, Brock sees red himself to start this one. And it looks like they are going to easily be able to encroach into the site.
Try to not give a chance here for MIBR to set up in the post plan.
Quickly back in, Scuba and Mata, both with 1 win. MIBR don't know which way to look right now, and it's just Tex left alive. MIBR have a damn good shot swinging out of this Cosmic Divide, and Scuba's going to be there to clean it up. In the blink of an eye, Energy take back B.
That is just amazing. I think at that point is just sheer wit on on this side here of Mata of how he
crazy.
wants to play around that wall that was set up by Kiko. Because you're hit by the Nightfall, you're low on HP. What are you going to do with that? You're leveraging your teammate's wall to isolate fights. Look how he goes, left and right, just playing the angles. Has a buddy system on top of that with Scuba watching on top of Heaven so that he could do his thing. It's just very nice from Energy to flood the way that they did. MIBR had no chance to really set up in that post plant. Lots of pings. You're seeing here they're trying to activate quite quickly and potentially go for that line at the TP in the back of the site again. Something that found value for Zekin to open up that hit on that B site.
I don't know if Kiko is actually in range to hear that in the position of the beginning shadow step. So he does have two, one for a delay, one for a smoke. He is going to start that suck up, and they get by it. Quickly gate crash by, and Brock was not expecting the entry into the site. So it's the little things MIBR is starting to win over now that turns NRG for a loop.
Spike planted.
It's a huge opener. Armageddon also once again taken out of the picture within the round.
So, just that jump in. So aggressive. Mata going in by himself. They're so confident in these fights. The swing there would have to have been incredible from his teammate to even help. Zekin's able to punish now, and that's going to be enough for them. Mazzino with that stinger has been going crazy over the past few series, so it's going to be deadly in his hands as he upgrades. But MIBR do get through the round, not too scrappy on kills, but they do lose a few.
Yeah, still 2 out of Zekin to get value on his TP into the side, and you got to thank the support utility out from Burno. When you're clearing with a dog in a close left and also checking towards that pillar, you know it's clear. You can TP out in the open, get that pick. So Salvos actually didn't even cancel out the TP. It was just to counter that flood out from that B site main take from MIBR. Yeah. And then Zekin just finds even 3 kills on top of that. Maybe MIBR now. Well, actually, let's hold that thought. There's a little bit more aggression coming out here in terms of util. Zekin finding a lot of info in this dimensional drift. Here. Trying to stop Brock right away.
They've stalled out MIBR a little bit, but they know they can run through it. Oh, Kiko focusing a bit on those smokes, gets taken down as he gets chased down by the dimensional drift here. Mata quickly acting to take down the lurk. Can they focus towards mid? Is the or towards site now is the question. It looks like they're actually going to meet up all the way on the outside for a late flank. Nope. That's a turn by Ethan. They say no.
It's hard. A 3 versus 4. You're looking out at what's left here on the side of MIBR. I mean, they still have flashes. They still have the haunt. Just trying to make it potentially expensive on the exits for the side of MIBR, but the money is also not the best. You see Scuba and Kiko. If it's not for these saves, they're going to have a broken buy. So keeping these 2 weapons are going to be super important. Ethan still keeping a lot of his util. Could really drop that a rifle for his teammates right after.
Oh, clean. The drone's one of the only things that found him salvation for a moment there. Can MIBR go for more? Doesn't like they're going to get the swing on. 6-5 here. Energy feeling good about the first half already with the 6 they have.
Yes, it'll be one of them. They'll have a broken buy in the end if they don't have a drop. That is surprising. Playing with that classic on top of that. Why the MIBR classic, I guess, at that point? I mean, usually you have a shorty or something to come out of the TP.
I did my ult with a classic instead of a shorty, and I still won.
There you go.
Yes, sir. Just like riding a bike. He knows what he's doing.
Help a girl out, would you?
He also probably knows he can affect Kiko as the smoker because he knows what Astra's going to want to be doing in those situations.
And you see here in this round, Ethan still only has that 1 flash, and he's already used it to try to find early information towards his ace line. So you have to drop, I think, a rifle for somebody to not be able to get full util. They're looking to fight back Armageddon with a trap play.
Protecting the saturate's going to cause MIBR to have to swing out, and that's right into the hands of NRG as they move through that B main area. 2 members left here in Zekin and Tex. They can get the job done. It's going to be difficult, though. Tex is going to be on that search, goes for the ult right away. I thought he might be seen for a moment, instantly dropped by Ethan. And this is going to be a tough one. 1 flash, 1 gate crash.
But it's Zekin.
This is the moment we've asked for on the switch to MIBR. What is the duelist going to be able to provide? And against 3, against the dual fire of NRG, they are too fast. And Zekin goes down. A 7th round here for Energy in the first half.
And that 1 flash from Ethan used towards that A side that gets no contact is like, well, they got to default towards B. Go for that trap play. You can even play the game on that B side with the Armageddon salvos and also the saturate. Look at this. What can you
got two esports endemic brands coming together to create a series of products for esports for the biggest stages.
퍼포먼스랑 컴페티션이 주요 키워드다 보니까 레이싱이라는 테마를 잡고 거기서 이제 영감받은 그래픽 요소들이나 다이나믹하고 날렵한 그런 실루엣 같은 것들을 저희 FS1 마우스에 적용을 해봤고요.
我们希望可以协助 POSA 成为电竞圈的顶尖品牌，而 Voxy 是其中一个助力。
Slide through, making moves, tell them fact check, go and get the truth. Who you know like us, go and get it jumping, gotta be the shoes. I was down bad, tripping, still kept the vision, had to see it through. Got them all tuned in like we in the hills, whole lot of views. Know they watching, what they saying, 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 what they saying. Know they watching, what they saying, 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 what they saying. Know they watching, whole lot of views for real, just like a real for real. Gotta re-up the deal, we got the mass appeal. Whole lot of facts on facts on facts on facts on facts for real.
We're back here at VCT America's Energy now on the attack side to see the pain that they can bring here. Up by 2, 7-5. And they already have one map under their belt at 13-6. So we'll see how fast they come out gunning on this first round.
It's interesting when you're looking at the scoreboard as well. You're almost thinking sometimes the Yoru as your secondary duelist is going to be the sacrificial lamb right now, but it has really been Aspas at that point to allow MIBR to fast tempo and allowing Zekit to open up here on this side. But on defense, as you mentioned, not the best of looks. But this is a brand new year. We haven't seen these comps before from both of these teams. Their approach might be different this time around as well for MIBR on defense, where they could try to fight back.
Looks like they're fine with a retake here to start too from the defensive side. Just giving that space in, but they control A. And Ethan is actually quite hurt to start things off here.
It's quite unfortunate. It's always him that gets heavily damaged when he's the one healing his teammates.
Guardian to the face or something else. The man's the medic. He's still running around getting shot, unfortunately. Here's a take. They just jump into the site. Not too much util to alert that it's going to happen. And it takes him off guard for a moment. Tak's able to hold down range. Does he know there's another one? And it's going to be Brock with that right click. They're still trying to find Scuba. Brock is left. And MIBR buckled down here for this pistol round to make sure they can walk away with it. Oh, no.
Wrong person.
It's just around him. He's drawn a beautiful picture of Mazzino there. Oh, my gosh. He gets away with a sliver of health. Brock finds the kill, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, my.
Woo. The spin moves.
Down to the wire again with what we saw in terms of scenarios on Abyss. But I gotta say, the look from MIBR was kind of nice. They just flooded right into the elbow. You saw how passively Aspas played, so he could throw paint shells on that right side when the players are being pressured. And then if they're trying to escape towards the A main, then you have Tex just waiting that up. So it's a nice little trap play that's not as aggressive from your star duelist in Aspas, but man, his utility is definitely helping out the team and keeping MIBR in this game. A Stinger buy with 2 Spectres. Looking to slow things down. One way is to be thrown by the side of Mazzino to spot feet. And Ethan is spotting bodies with bullets tapping through the smoke.
Mazzino happy to unload a few mags into the smoke. Looks like they're trying to get a check on mid, maybe one last time. Gatecrash is there ready for Zekin, but no movements. This is all for the fact that they think Energy is going to pressure soon with a little bit of this B fake.
I mean, it almost looks like the exact look from MIBR, just with a different comp this time around.
Yeah.
Control that orb towards that side and maybe work towards that mid. But instead, they're going for the full rotate. After they haven't been pressured on that side on top mid, when they had the 2 players inserted in the first place, they know that there's no aggression coming out. They could thunderfoot all the way across until they get into this point right here. Walking in a spot is super important because walking or running could be heard right at this angle. So that's why you have to use Boombot right now to clear out space. But even the dog out from Ethan is also going to give you the tell.
Exactly. They're both regaining control of this area. And NRG feels comfortable about that. The C's will slow them down just a little bit, tying their shoes together for a moment. Here's the hit. Quick flash through the wall. Smoke towards heaven now as Aspas is trying to run around the site with a stinger. What is that? From Zekin. The medium to long range stinger bringing the pain. He finds the third one on a quick peek. And Brock goes down 7-7 for MIBR.
That's why I got to thank the snake bite actually thrown on text as well. So it just melts down your opponents as they tried to go for a 20-second hit, maybe from a mid to B. But they definitely just got stopped across. Actually, the snake bite wasn't even in range. It was just to block the players from running up.
One of them had a bit of raise damage, and the other one just got clapped it. All right, then. 14-9, Zekin bringing out the Yoru like riding a bike for this guy. He's got thousands and thousands of rounds on Duelist and a few hundred on Smoke, so you know he still knows how to do this.
Staying far back is energy this round. It's a bonus for MIBR. They haven't lost too many players in the process, so you just have to wait it out. You're also seeing how you're playing judges on the site for MIBR. You know you're playing against a Wele, so playing towards Mail or whatnot is not going to be the best place to play it. So you're just having Tex use his wall and leverage that as like the tight-knit hold the A ramp. We have a 3-player push on that B side, or sorry, on the mid side for MIBR, just to watch just to watch their teammates back so that Tex can just focus on that A ramp.
That's all he is doing. Just making sure nobody crosses into heaven. And Energy are getting a lot of space for free here to choose where they might want to go. It could be a trap for them, but it also could be a way that they start off right at the front door of MIBR's defense. And it looks like getting up in the mailroom might be where they knock first.
I was about to say they almost didn't look at his teammates back anymore, and Tex is going to get shot in the back there by Mata.
Oh, right up there. It's obviously going to be a sight from Verno to save himself. Everybody's ready. This actually looks like the strat from Energy, honestly. 3 in sight with him falling in from heaven. But can MIBR have the same result Energy did? Hopping through. Kind of elephant footing on this one, stomping it, and that's going to give a lot of knowledge to Mazzino to do the damage. Scuba's down to 46 HP. Ethan gets the plant down. Moving into the site very quick, actually, as they get a bit of a heal back from Ethan. Quickly found on one side, and he plays the look at me, so you can't double take the teammate. Verno and Tex coming up with a nice win there.
Interesting smoke being thrown by Mazzino as well, instead of just, well, I mean, usually that smoke being thrown on the top of Mail is supposed to be the attack side, but yeah, you're throwing that on the heaven, so everybody's running through with a question mark when they come on the other side of the smoke, and you see 2 players sitting up at that spot. Top of heaven and also towards the top of stairs.
He escaped the pie! He escaped the pie!
And that's talking about the all-star Ospas escaping the pie.
Yep. Hey, we all love some pie. This time we avoid it, and it's for a good reason.
At least they're vibing and having fun right now. And also, you're definitely vibing now that you're taking the lead over Energy. It's been so one-sided for the champs team since that first map, 13-6 final score. Now MIBR are looking to trade maps back on Energy's map pick.
And through a Zekin carry at this point, through the way that they're doing the double duelist. Obviously selfless for one of them to go in and kind of create a distraction, but the question's somewhat being answered there, that this team can work in that fashion. It's 8-7 though. They still have a lot of work to do, and that means Energy is right on your heels for this match.
Tough with the Prowler missing as well. You already have Scuba and Mata inserted on top of that ramp, and they're looking to go for the punish, trying to find their timing.
Mata slowly working up, actually just dodges out. Sees that there's nobody there from the dog. Here's him running backwards. Here's the reloads, and he can't find the timing, but he's giving himself up. They try to take the site. Discipline is cleaned up, and Verno goes down after a kill.
Ospas is turn to shine because his teammates in a dimensional drift finding information for him.
Oh, yeah, he saw you. Mazzino trying to play a little funky on the ropes here. Zekin comes out of the dimensional drift. Ospas is already working the site. A double on elbow by himself, and Mazzino's going to go for that defuse and hand it over after half to get the showstopper online quick.
And a heads-up play by Zekin to say, just paranoia. I'm going to get out of the TP right now to not get punished. And then he just goes for the spray across the board. Just the calls coming out and just the heads-up play from Zekin is really helping MIBR not only take the lead, but maintain the lead. Also allowing the defense to take 4 in a row. We talked about it being very difficult for MIBR in the past on the defense, and it's looking quite good right now with how free Zekin is moving around this map.
And you you see Verno there at the end of the round getting vocal very quick, knowing they have the momentum and they have to keep it, right? Some ultimates are coming up. They have to work against Ethan's Seekers. And that's actually going to be a timeout, so they'll have a little bit more time to talk.
Yeah, and just before we saw that, it was, again, a very vocal Verno.
Yep.
Trying to figure out here what they could do on the attack side. I had to praise the util that was being taken on the side of energy to allow Mata to get that space on the top of heaven first, though. When he's inserted in that vent, there was a Trailblazer that came across, and the dog pushes opponents back. But as soon as that dissipates, you're out of that range, there's salvos on top of that to push him even further back, and then Mata will take over that space. And he almost capitalized on a kill and capitalizing on players falling back. Exactly. And that would have given a huge advantage for energy in the start. But then not necessarily whiffing a couple of shots, but maintaining that space so that the rest could tend to up on that A entrance and play the buddy system for that trade and take that site was nice. It's just now in the post plant, they're kind of out of position right now, and MIBR is able to take this. This is now 3 retakes out of 3 plants that is won by MIBR. So that is probably that main conversation for Energy's side.
Yeah, that situation where they save themselves, you can see MIBR is thinking like everything Energy is doing is for a reason, but an aggressive reason. That dog didn't come into clear so they can come in later. It's because someone else is right there behind it. Very smart to know that NRG is working off of everything, and that's going to be a flashback for both of them as they do identify that it's going to be Tex up in heaven. Very quick here by NRG to kind of position themselves again around the orb. Haven't grabbed it, and it looks like they disappeared just from the vision of Mazzino.
At this point, I feel like Ethan should play Teo so that he can get healed by Brock if Brock plays this guy, because he's the one always in contact and being low HP on the actual site hits in the end.
Hey, a good leader gives himself up, right?
True.
Lets everybody else flourish. And not too much of that happening for Energy this round. Nice job by MIBR. They still read that it's going to be B main. The noise cut didn't confuse anyone, and they quickly take down this low buy from Energy.
It's MIBR that's flourishing so far. Very nice anti-eco against Energy. That was probably a paranoia going into the TP from Mazzino to get these frags. There you go, 2 of them fully blinded.
Yeah, you see it.
Just a right-click classic dash on the side of Mata in the first place, just to try to get Zekin out of that line to allow Energy to fast tempo if they can. But it's just so hard for them to bottleneck through that B site when Mazzino continues to throw these one-ways and being a nuisance right now to the B site.
He is. We saw him getting 4Ks on Abyss in their previous series. Mazzino, definitely one that can hold his ground, has a very good understanding of the state of the game and what needs to be done. Dang, Mata's so quick with it. 17 and 9 right now, pushing up, looking for kills himself, right? Nobody's really that close to him.
I like this, though. They have to give up mid and now pressuring towards that A main side. At least for the defense, but then for Energy, they go for the Seekers. They see where the util is at, they see where their opponents are at, and they're trying to go for the push.
Ospots gets pushed a little too quick there. First shots are going to have to just be a distraction for Insight, and they are still crosshairs broken enough for Ethan and Kiko to come in and finish the job.
Yeah, that was just a hero play attempted by Zekin. I mean, respect to him, was feeling it, but so far it's not really over yet. They're trying to chase down Mata. If they're able to take them down, that would have given them a little bit of a window to work with. But now Spike's been planted. Everybody's playing off-site. Should be the round for Energy.
I like that. Much more kind of round of distraction from Energy. Touch and go, find a fight. Make sure you're fighting on another front at the same time. It seems like they were giving MIBR a lot to look at for that one. And it's going to be a B-ending round win here for Energy with 4 alive.
And again, I wanted to talk about the respect to Zekin, what they tried to do, because there was big ults right now utilized by Energy to take over this B site, combining both the Seekers and the Armageddon, which, by the way, still combined to 3 pips on the side of Ethan and Brock at the end of that round. So great value taken out of those 2 initiators for the side of Energy. But he's trying to walk outside of that smoke, trying to get an outlaw pick into the top of heaven, and he has to flick up there to try to get that kill. Didn't happen. Now it's an off, though. Not on Zekin, it's on Ospas. Watching it from a passive angle on the top of the A site, sorry.
Flash over top, that's going to be a quick blind. Nightfall goes out. They can trail a few.
Yeah, ping 3.
It looks like they're not going to be able to get too much out of it other than that knowledge, which is still in itself very big. Those smokes may be reused or just missed from the site. Energy is still going to leave them there to maybe fake something as they push over towards B to make some noise. A is still the hit, and they've gotten MIBR to move around quite a bit, but Aspas will second guess and keep them in a 2-1-2.
Just like how Ethan was running back and healing at the same time, but it's regen shields and damage they've taken by a Nightfall, so it's not really needed at that point. And it's hard right now, Ethan. You're talking about selling a fake. Maybe it's a dog into the pit, but it's only him solo, so it's not really worth it at that point.
Yeah, it looks like everything's going to be used at sight here.
Aspas will be ready for it. Has the operator to look down that line. That, I don't know. That might be a false call by MIBR. The TP doesn't see anybody on the top of that ramp.
Verno in a scary spot. Saturate comes through. Oh, he is trying to get out of there. Back to normal. Just everybody trying to be flash safe right now. His energy heads into the site, and Mata cleans up Aspas behind the map. Ulti goes down, and now Zekin trying to get in. A beautiful paranoia, but can they work off it? They don't know if it's hit anybody until they get themselves in. Oh my gosh, the push from Brock. Right in the face of MIBR. And the action doesn't end. Zekin's able to refresh just a little bit in the situation. And they're going to have to try once more if they can get in together. Oh my gosh. They are throwing everything in the kitchen sink at MIBR right now. Tex is able to drop the ult rather.
It's not planted for them.
It's not. They got to get this down. Oh, I thought maybe just on the outside of that. But it's not going to be. Moving in, an easy kill from the ramp as they both swing together. Mata and Kiko are going to be able to finish it off and bring the game within one.
Had to be Zekin on the outside and force the fight. If not, it's an easy kill and for Tex to fall down. And Tex, he actually got slowed down by that slow field from Mata and still gets that kill because they admitted from watching that spot. There, I think is a miscomm because that wall was actually a defender wall that Mata hit through. I saw that ping coming out from Aspas and the wall never came down. He was looking for that pick.
Such a baiter. He's such a baiter. He's such a baiter. Nice, guys. Nice.
And that's Zekin when, again, he was at the top while his teammate was trying to defuse. So the vibes are back now for Energy. To say, look, we still have the game in our hand.
And the operator now on Zekin, it switches hands. Aspas had that top site last time, showstopper for him, so he will be whipping out the ultimate when possible. And Energy says, okay, can we activate the ult early? Keep Spike down and a little give and go at the front of B. But Aspas holds that ult discipline.
Yeah, it was op shot to showstopper if that default from Energy on that B side was going to continue. And then with that boom bot, they could now start taking that forward position from Zekin and then rotate Aspas potentially somewhere else.
Time to jump.
Oh, they're going to keep pushing. I mean, a lot of players right now are in forward lines. If they lose their position on the A side, the retake's going to be a lot more difficult, so they kind of have to be more disciplined of where they want to start stacking up their buddy system here. And that
any sound.
Right there. Having that Prowler, nice little spray though by Mazzino.
Always Ethan. An unfortunate situation of this game for him, but through the smoke, Mazzino finds one, and they're still going to try to get in here. Oh, wow. Trading places, but Mata still finds the kill onto Mazzino, and he's still going haywire here in heaven. That's going to be a creep in from mid. Should be covered. Mata gets a third. A fourth and a fifth are still on the map, and he goes ahead and refracts right back to heaven to make sure he's part of what can happen up there.
That's a give-up moment. Zekin's still holding towards B main, so... Aspas trying to keep the economy low if he can, but riches are aplenty for the side of Energy in this round.
Aspas gets one. Zekin could get another pip towards an ult here if somebody goes searching, but they're so far away. It's just about Aspas leaving this.
Energy just wants to guarantee the round, an opportunity for them to tie things up on a 10-10, and even then just winning that round might potentially make it a difficult buy for MIBR in the next. Vern only has 100 credits going into the next round. So again, very important for them to keep Showstopper and Op. Wouldn't be surprised if you want to get the Phantom to Verno in the next round and try to go for a Showstopper play, because that was attempted by the positioning from both Zekin and Aspas at the beginning of this round.
I mean, this win, 3 alive, it's almost like Energy will have the money they need here to see out the game as long as it doesn't go back and forth too much, even with buys. Depth, jeez. Just so aware of the situations, knowing that they've constantly been playing up there too.
That was the most perfect round of Val I've ever seen from one guy.
That's what I'm saying. This guy was going haywire up there. Yeah, he's activated too. And a lot of the things Mata's been doing are a few I should say, just say a range away from the team where they're not able to assist.
Yeah.
So he is just really trying to put a foot in the door right away, get in the face of NRG, or I'm sorry, MIBR, whether that comes away with the kill or whether he's just grabbing the info as a Waylation.
And all he got were kills.
And all he got, darn.
You just talked about trading places. He went over Mazzino. Mazzino understands that he wants to play the defensive line, kind of like playing against a Yoru ult.
Yep.
Somebody's going to get behind. Other players are going to flood. I'll just try to get my 1 or 2. Nobody went through behind that dash from Mata. So Mata just turns around and kills him.
Yeah, it's just a space he's opening. And yeah, Util's providing that for him. You're going to need it from the team. I mean, Ethan actually couldn't give it to him that time because Ethan went down immediately. But still, Mata says, all right, a little more in my hands. I like the pressure. He goes crazy.
You saw that buy that we currently have with Verno. The low credits moving into this round will go for a stinger buy. And Aspas will keep the Phantom on his end, which is fine. Verno's goal right now is to control the information for the team, being that main person. It's not for Clone and Boombot. Those prowlers on that A side are super important to find that info for the team. And they've been,
okay.
All right, I'm gonna stop talking because that was a nice shot, and action's probably gonna continue now.
Just because it's smoking doesn't mean he's slow at shooting. All right. Still got that duelist in him. Mata now again trying to go on a solo journey to see what he can find. Won't even really have Util from the team over here. He's going to play off of the noise being made at B.
Mata inserted himself again, though. Oh, Verno with the timing.
He found it.
It's the stinger that kills him.
Calling the strats, knowing the map. Verno has been watching Mata closely throughout this series, especially on Split. We're at 10-10 here for both teams' first appearance on this map, and they are really testing each other. Once again, Tex to hold down Heaven, and delay even more. A more delay.
Yeah.
They are layering nicely.
And that's Kiko Smoke, being very similar to what they were doing on the previous side. Just try to scale up and try to get control of that B Heaven. Yeah, it's a nice shot, but at the same time is up against the world. A 1 versus 5. Spike being down with 30 seconds left. Hunt for these kills. They're still comfortable to buy in the next round here for Energy. 18 seconds left. He's shooting to try to bait out some aggressive peaks on the side of MIBR.
They're too clean with it, though. They just check the minimap to see if it's an actual vision caught by their teammate. No crossfire had, no contact play needed. It's just a bounce house in the smoke. Kiko cannot get the plant down, and MIBR are within 2.
Yeah, to finish the map, 1 ahead of Energy. Form round to win right in the angle. But it's still the value that they're taking. I think it's also the conversation that came through towards the MIBR camp.
Good call on the jump across. Good call on the jump across, Ian.
So expected a push from somebody to jump into Ramen, and that's Tex here having a sixth sense in terms of what he hears at the beginning of these rounds.
That's
Misses
crazy.
the orb, unfortunately, though.
That's a lot what they talk about on the team is that while Verno talks, a lot of the voices can still participate, and plays like that are pivotal.
This is important, though, right now. He missed that orb to look down towards middle, so you already have to start wasting smokes on the side of Mazzino. That's going to be 1 less smoke to utilize to throw one-ways on B or to try to prevent this push. So an advantage for Energy to not only take space, but to split into the B site. And they're going straight for that.
Holding. Good push from both sides. They've got actually Dog up top and Drone from B main. Aspas finally rips that showstopper we've been watching here. And almost the recoil control coming in for Tex. But they answer back 1 for another here. A 4 alive now for MIBR is don't give up numbers. The double peak, very nicely swung.
Beautiful.
You love that kind of protocol. And Mazzino's just going to say, I got this one. Don't worry about it. 12 for MIBR with Breeze on the horizon. Can they get 1 more round?
Almost felt like that was intentional for him to miss the poison orb at the beginning so that you could bait players into the showstopper of Aspas at B Heaven.
Oh no, we messed up. Oh dear. Yeah, we don't talk about that though. We've seen a few of those this game. The sun was in his eyes.
And found redemption, too, for getting a kill as he pitched
Exactly.
back on middle and drops that spike. Beautifully done towards the end in terms of MIBR's look in the second map versus the first one is very impressive.
I was going to say,
Everybody's
what
shooting
a
across
change.
the board. Yeah.
What a change.
Spot's finding value on the defensive side as well. So it makes it very difficult for Energy when you're unlocking everybody into the important rounds of a split. As MIBR is trying to push this into Breeze.
Pretty loud mid. First time we see Mata just kind of ripping the Vandal off through the smokes here, so they can say, yeah, here's some noise, cut it, and then they can play off it. Still in a default formation, too, for Energy.
Just trying to play that bait and switch on that side. I mean, for them, it doesn't really matter if Mata goes for that dash into vents again. They just want to control the mail and leverage Verno to watch into the ramp, which is why you're seeing them playing pretty passively on top of the Heaven side this time around for MIBR.
Now sub 1 minute, Zekin throws out the gate crash, thinking if he's going to get an op shot, he wants out of A so they can go for the retake, but it's all towards B. A lot of the focus now going towards mid. Boombot 2. I mean, they may be getting the info, the fact that nobody's there, and they're about to see him here in sight.
Nice.
Zeno trying to save himself, gets to the right, but Scuba's cleaning up sight. The rest of the death ball, known as NRG, flies through in what could be a flawless 23rd round.
Yeah, it will. The last two have to save.
Yeah, they're going to save.
The crazy, we'll have to look back at the replay. I want to know how Scuba did that. Did he just spray through the B Heaven smoke and drops 2 players there? Because I was going to say that everything was perfect by Mazzino. He plays towards that pillar side, gets slowed down by the saturate, but what he does is he flashes towards that B main before TPing out on the other end. So nobody could capitalize on that, on a dash, from the side of the waylay of Mata. Yet Scuba just sprays on the top of Heaven and gets 2 picks.
Now we get the full smoke, but yeah, we've been seeing that Heaven smoke that allows them to strafe out, kind of denying the fact that you can run out Heaven side and drop at the same time, maybe creating too many options.
Wow.
Mata. Ian Mata. Oh, Mata.
Verno really wants to keep this going. He's even toyed with them.
I see you. All right, they pull it back into their favor, stave off defeat here, and possibly can take this map in 2, but there's still more work to do here for Energy. Oh, the creep out, just the orb of the smoke did not play in MIBR's favor there.
Look like we're missing a little bit on that side to really try to flood out and help Mazzino on that side. Well, I guess they were really trying after that paranoia that was thrown and thinking that would probably blind enough players. Unfortunately, as we look back at the replay, it looks like it really only hit Mata.
All right, Viper's Pit, Dimensional Drift on the side of MIBR. We got Seekers for Ethan, which you know the mastermind is going to try to use that in a way to find out how to get macro down and move MIBR all over the map. Then they bring it back in with the Seekers to know exactly what site they can hit. That's my guess, because it just seems easier that way. And then they'll have to force work with Zekin's Dimensional Drift to get themselves out of it. That's it.
Simple as that.
It's easier said than done. We'll just see how it's done.
If anything, though, Energy is doing a great job avoiding the off at the beginning of these rounds. But so far, going into this last round, the timeout call by MIBR, the last one available for this last round of regulation. They're putting Zekin at the right spot, although doesn't seem like at an aggressive angle in the first place.
Yeah.
1 orb away from getting the slow field for Mata, and that might be the first piece of the puzzle for Energy to flip back into the B side and push this into extra innings.
Seekers right off the bat. The orb control won't even be there. Mata's going in to see, to distract, and goes down, doesn't get the refract in time. They're forced to move off towards the right side. Remember, this is either map 3 or OT here if MIBR can find the win. Pit's already down today.
Exactly.
This is forcing Energy's hand through the middle of the map and towards B.
Pit's out on that side. They use Seekers at the beginning, too, to try to get that space for Mata. So now it's the mid-round information taken by MIBR. That spot's 3 right there. Stays in the smoke. What? I think he wanted to TV, no? I don't know what happened there.
The 3rd time he dimensional drifts, it's not going to be the one that Zekin gets a kill in. Each of the other ones, he's been able to come out successfully. And now they are back to even. It is
unfortunate, Riv, because him falling, it equalizes on a 4v4, but you're also thinning out the defense because you forced the pit towards the A main. So now you're going to have to gamble the B side. There's a huge gap right now for them to take over back on the A side if they want to for Energy.
That was the operator, the one that holds hard lines, but it's actually Osbos and Verno. It doesn't matter. They're still doing the work. Mazzino has been a rock in sight, the safest pair of hands you could ask for at this point, and they're still trying to give him hell. The 1v1, it leaves it up to Verno and Tex, a judge and a vandal, to come back in.
2v1 on that side, but Brock's been in this scenario before.
Beautiful util to catch him already, and he's cooking. Wait a minute, that's it! It's gonna be just like that. They don't even have to see the player to get the kill. It's gonna be MIBR taking split. We're going all the way to Breeze.
What good util in the end. I think it was a snake bite and a seize at the same time, but MIBR are looking really good on this map of split. Despite here not having the best of numbers for that Star Duelist of Ospaz, but that was not needed. We talked about how sacrificial of a Lamiette to be to allow Zekin to open up here for that side. But he's been on that top of the board, dropping 20 for the side of MIBR. And Mana's 23, unfortunately, was not enough for energy.
That's the kind of mentality people wanted to see from the unknown, from the super team of MIBR, that they could come back from a map like a 13-6 that looked not great, honestly. 6 there was even a wonder. But now they come back on split and they say, no, we are in this. MIBR bring us to a final map versus NRG. We'll be right back.
Thank you.